Respect the Porter's pride and dignity. Stop the New World Order. Welcome to HPANWO TV. And welcome to this, another reportage of a conference. And I'm here on Malden Bridge right now, where the students come and boogie on the 1st of May. And down there is Oxford St Helena, Angel Meadow. Yeah, I'm pleased to say I'm back off to Contact in the Desert. So I'm really looking forward to that because, as you know, if you watch Ben in the Desert, my reportage of the last one, I had such a fantastic time. Absolutely fantastic. So anyway, let's have a look at this year's attractions. Alright, so this is the event I'm going to go to see, HPANWO TV viewers. It's Contact in the Desert. I'm going back there. If you look in the description box, actually, I'll put a link to Ben in the Desert, which is my reportage the first time I went there last year. This is my second visit, so this is it. Oh my god, this is so good. Contact in the Desert. Join us for the world's largest UAP conference. Oh wow. It's brilliant. And it says here, the Woodstock of ufology is a weekend of education into the science of UFOs and extraterrestrial life. That's Forbes magazine, not Ashton Forbes. Although he's going, apparently. He's going. He's not a speaker. Of course, he'd never be a speaker. But he is going to be there. Hopefully I'll meet him. And here we have keynote speaker Josh Gates from Expedition Unknown. Adventurer, television personality and author Josh Gates. Smash Hit Discovery Channel series Expedition Unknown. Wow. You go down here. There's Ross Coulter. Oh, blimey. George Knapp. Let's have a look at all the speakers, shall we? Let's have a look at them, see what they're like. Here we go. And here is Josh Gates. You know, do you know something? I'm ashamed to say, I've heard the name, but I don't know anything about this bloke. I just don't know anything about him. Here's the list here we have. Here's the rock stars. Josh Gates. Ross Coulthard. Is he finally going to tell us where the UFO is buried and the building is put on top of it? Dr. Diane Hennessy Powell. I've heard the name, but I don't know much about her. George Noory, famous radio show host. George Knapp, of course, needs no introduction. And we have here Jimmy Church, yay. Danny Sheehan's back again. Dr. Avi Loeb is there, appearing virtually. Oh, he can't he get there? Oh, that's a shame. That's a pity. But anyway, Richard Dolan, of course, he's back. Linda Moulton Howe, yay, Linda's going to be there. I'm glad she's turning up. There was some question over whether she was going to be there. I'm glad she is. Caroline Corey, oh right, I hope she does her show this year. Because if you remember in Stairway to the Stars, she couldn't do her show. Willie Strieber, Thomas Jane. Oh right, he's in. He's been in a couple of movies. I know he's an actor. Yeah. Anthony Peake, yay. Sarah Brexman Cosme. I don't know her. And of course, you can't have a UFO conference without him. Nick Pope, Chris Bledsoe. I don't know my author. I don't know much about him, but he wrote a book. I remember about this sort of thing. Alexis Brooks, she was there last year. I remember. William Henry, I don't know much about. Tracy Garbutt Dolan, she's doing the remote viewing again. Jason Martell, I don't know about him. Mark Antonio, Adam Curry. He was he the one I interviewed? Who was the one I interviewed? I think it was him actually. Yvonne Smith, she was there last year, and of course the one and only Steve Bassett, yeah. Paul Hynek back again. Adam Apollo, who's he? Ben Hansen, alright, he does that, he's ex-CIA, he does a TV series. Douglas J. Butner, who don't know who he is. Oh, Peter Robbins is there, right, I'll say more about him later, because, well, I'm going to have to stay out his way, basically. Some of you know all about this already, but I'm not going to cause any trouble, but, yeah, I will, I'll have to be a little bit careful and make sure I don't go too near him. I'm going to watch his talk though. I will watch it. I'll watch it politely and respectfully, like I did last time. But this time there'll be no sun hat or crutches required. Jason quit. Did he? Oh dear. Hope he comes back. Robert Salas, the witness to the nuclear missile tampering. Mitch Randall. Jade and Zero Hertak. Oh, they're still going strong. That's good. I met them in 2008. Rizwan Virk. Oh, AI, he's an AI guy. There's a lot of AI people. Ryan Wood, alright, he wrote that amazing book, which I've got the new copy, the new edition. Jennifer Schaefer, don't know her. Richard Martini, don't know him. Kelly Chase, she's sort of like reinvented herself in doing more about sort of high strangeness and stuff like that. She's teamed up with this other guy, and they do like a new kind of programme. J. Christopher King. Oh, and that's him. That's her partner, her business partner, who does the other side of the. He does the series with her. Bryce Zabel. I met him in 2011. He's a really good. I really like him. He's cool. He wrote the book of Richard Dolan. Yeah, and he does this show with Ross Coulthart. Need to Know, very good series. Clyde Lewis, Ground Zero host. Rebecca Hardcastle. I think she was there last year. And Ron James, new fun. Dr. Pascal Michael, Dr. Paul H. Smith, Jeremiah Horseman, Dr. Stephen Finley, Katie Page. I don't know anything about these people. Hakim Isa. Melinda Leslie, I know. I've heard of her. I met her last year. Rex St. Ongi Sir. Eric Rankin. I don't know any of them. Robert Jameson. Captain Ron Janix. Co-owner. Oh, right. Oh, yeah. He actually is the guy who organises the whole thing. Alan Steinfeld, and I think he was. Niall Murphy knows about him. The Crystal Skull people. Yeah, that's the Mitchell Hedges Crystal Skull is going to be there again. Jim Ledwith, Byron Belitsos, and Lisa Puzzo Strickland. All right, fantastic. And of course, there's these live podcasts that are going to be going out. Jesse Michaels, Need to Know. Last podcast on the left. Area 52, Chris Ramsey. He's quite new on the scene, but I've really got into him. Chris Ramsey. Yeah. Area 52, Bledsoe Said So. Jeff Moran, Vinnie Adams, Disclosure Team. He's going to be there. I met him in Blackpool. Do you remember he was at the Awakening Blackpool? Coast to Coast Beyond Contact. the Vetted podcast. Is Patrick going to be? That's Patrick. Patrick Scott Armstrong. That's his full name. I didn't know that. UAP Studies and UFO Garage, and of course HPANWO TV. And here, of course, I know some. Ron James is going to be there. He's a director. Yeah. UFO Garage. Dan Harari, I interviewed him. Yeah, and of course, Dan, I don't know him, but James Fox, everyone knows James Fox. Fantastic stuff, man, fantastic. Can't wait, man, can't wait. Yeah, I got my ticket, I bought my ticket just before New Year, when I got the early bird deal. I wasn't sure if I was going to go or not, but I bought the ticket and I was kind of committed, but I'm so glad I did, yeah. So, yeah, would you care to accompany me, ladies and gentlemen? And we will head there now. Right. As always, the first stage of this journey is to get the coach from Oxford to the airport. Now, we're lucky we have the airline, which is quite a good service. Actually, takes you straight there. Now, technically speaking, you can get to the airport simply from going to central London on the Oxford Tube, which is the way I normally get to London. But then, when you're there, you've got to take like a 45-minute ride on the London Underground, with all the hazards and unpleasantness that inevitably involves. So it's easier if you live in Oxford. I'm very lucky, actually. It's very, very easy to get to the airport. Okay, guys, here we go. We're off. Oops. Will we make it past the Castle Mound? I'll never let them forget that. And we did. Well done, Oxford Bus Company. That's the first challenge overcome. Okay, we're on the way now. I just thought I'd make you aware of something interesting. So I've got this new bag. You see it? It's a brand new bag. I bought it especially for this because the other one had holes in. The reason I've got my toothbrush in my hand is that because I have my other case down below, and I don't want to forget it. I don't want that bag situation I had when I went to Stairway to the Stars. So this reminds me I've got to go and get when I'm holding this in my hand, it reminds me I've got to go and get my suitcase and make sure I have it before I leave the coach. Now, I didn't know this. When I bought this bag, right, I just bought it from a little shop near where I live, in Littlemore, Oxford. Look what it's called. HP Power. That's the brand. HP Power. Well, you can guess what the HP stands for, can't you? Hospital Porters. Yes, Hospital Porters Power. I like that. And like I said, I didn't know that when I bought this. I just thought that's a nice bag. It will suit me, unless it was somehow subliminal. I don't know. But anyway, that's good, isn't it? It's a lovely sky. Chemtrail free today. I spoke too soon. Depends how long they last. They seem to be dissipating.
Oh, ladies and gents, the central bus station. You know this bit if you're familiar with my work. Hilton Garden Inn. They haven't got the flag flying today, which means that Paris is not in. Last time I was here, they had the flag flying, so Paris was probably in the penthouse, drying her one pair of knickers over the radiator. But she's not there today, and this place hasn't changed much, I'll tell you. It's still very, very nice, and the weather's lovely. It's a bit breezy, but the weather's lovely. Now, I got off at the central bus station, and as I've said before many times, getting around this airport is quite easy. You go down these stairs, where the underground is, there's these tunnels which take you into all the different terminals, and to get into Terminal 3 is like a short tunnel with a travelator. But, you know, I always go this way because it's a lot more interesting. And I'm going to see if the chapel's open, because the last two occasions I came here, the chapel wasn't open. When I went to Australia, that was back in 2000, I went to Australia. I actually went in there and said a prayer. I mustn't lose this hat. Damn it. It's my Roswell 75 hat. I can't, this is my 70th anniversary of Roswell hat. I can't miss that. And of course I've got my Just the Beginning t-shirt on there from UFO Jesus. Oh well. Here we are. So let's have a little look along here, see what we can find. And the good thing, airports are fascinating places. I mean, I'm really early. In fact, my flight doesn't take off until 10 past 10 tomorrow morning, if it's on time. But I've arrived here early because it's so much easier. And you know, airports are really, really interesting places to look around, to explore. Especially a big and busy one like Heathrow. It's actually the busiest on Earth. Chapel of St George. Here we go. Let's have a look. It was locked up the last two occasions I came in, so I'm just going to see if it's actually there today. So if it's open, I'll go in. But again, if you remember, this is the Garden of Remembrance, where, see, I showed you these before. I don't know if there's any new names you could mention. Yeah. Oh, it's open. I'll go in there in a minute. Various people, pilots, ground crew, and also plane enthusiasts, people who go up to the public gallery and things like that. So yeah, I'm going to go in there. Okay, well that was interesting. I'll see more in a little while because there's still people coming out. There was a mass in progress, so I don't want to disturb the peace. Right. Terminal 2, there it is, the Queen's Terminal as it's called. Yeah, well, what happened was that it was open. That's the first time. I've been there 3 times. The doors were open, and I went in there, and you've got to go down some stairs to get there. I don't remember that, but it's actually like this underground cave. It's like a basement thing, and that's where the church actually is. And I was like, I walked in there, and I remember it being different. I remember it having windows, but that's probably a conflation on my part, because it was at least 25 years ago. No, maybe they've rebuilt it, I don't know. And I went in, and there was a mass in progress. I'd actually come in just before the end, actually, of the mass. But there were some people there. It was mostly staff members, I think. Mostly like black and brown people. I was one of the few white people in there. And the priest was like a big black guy with an African accent, and he was just finishing off the mass. And so I went and I quietly sat down. I put my suitcase next to me on the seat, and just sat there. And then I sort of joined in with the final hymn, and then on the way out he shook people's hands as we were leaving, like priests often do. And I said, "Thank you, Father," I said. And he says, "Oh, God bless," he says, "have a nice trip." He sort of put his hands on me and blessed me. "Have a nice trip." And I thought, that's really nice. You know, I mean, if you've ever been in that situation like I was, because I said in 2000 I was much more religious than I am now, and I actually went to the chapel specifically to pray before I got on the plane, when I went to see my brother in Australia. There's no doubt about it, you know. There's a part of you that I don't think anyone completely leaves all that behind, unless you had a very disagreeable experience like child abuse or something, which of course I take very seriously. But I didn't. There was a part of me that's never got over the emotions I feel being involved in a mass like that. And I thought this when I went to the March for Life, if you remember. So I'm just going to have a quick look in the Queen's Terminal. And here it is, Terminal 2, the Queen's Terminal. It's really impressive actually. It's just been it was rebuilt a few years ago, because there's always been a Terminal 2 here, but it's just been redone. I'd say apart from Terminal 5, this is probably the biggest terminal actually. It's very extensive, owned by Royal Reptilianness, I think, hence its name. Look at that. It's mostly European flights, I think, like continental only. It's really quite something. If I'd flown to Denmark from Heathrow, I'd have probably flown from this terminal, but I flew from Gatwick instead. So that's Terminal 2. I'm not going to go in there and have a look around. I'm going to head for one of the other terminals now. That's it. It's nice. It's good to get here earlier and have a look around. I'm very early indeed. I'm like almost 24 hours early. There we are. We've got to have these on. All airports seem to have these. That one over there is not working, but this one is. And it's sort of like a thing. It's an airport thing, isn't it, having these? So you just stand there and let it carry you along. Or you can go really fast. So you see how fast I go. Or you go this way. Walk back. I'm not moving, you see. I'm not moving. I'm not going anywhere. Oh my God, I'm standing still. I'm not sure why people walk along these things, you know, because if you're going to walk, you might as well walk down the middle here. Let people walk along them. I just like to stand there and let it carry me along. I mean, what's the rush? What are these people rushing for? Well, this is Terminal 3, ladies and gents. This will be familiar to you, I'm sure, and with the £6 terminal drop-off charge, yes. As Richard Freeman would say, you know, fucking Tory wankers. I mean, honestly, I think I made this point before when I first came here, when I did Meadows, but £6 just to take up maybe 20 feet of empty tarmac for like 3 minutes. I mean, skinflint or what? What a ridiculous thing that is. Anyway, this is a very pleasant area here outside Terminal 3 departures. This is where I might Colin and Mark when we went to Stairway to the Stars. And yeah, it's quite good timing actually, because by the time I get to Terminal 4, which is where my hotel is for tonight, I'll be almost ready to check in probably, but I've got to go this way through the Elizabeth line. I'll have to make some careful plans for tomorrow morning actually, because it's going to be a bit tricky, because I'm going to have to get there quite early. But anyway, here we are, Elizabeth line, Heathrow Airport, Terminals 1 and 4 and 5, free train transfer. Yeah, that's where I'm going to go next. Alright, here we are. It's very dark down here. It's not like the London Underground, or the rest of the London Underground. It's actually really gloomy. And trains aren't that frequent actually. It's 9 minutes to Terminal 5. I think it's 15 minutes to Terminal... It's 15 minutes till I get one to Terminal 4. See, once you get there, it's 17 minutes actually. Yeah. But there's no decorations, there's no adverts or anything down here. It's just bare stone, concrete, and weird ringtones. Fitting for the Elizabeth line, isn't it? Still got the old COVID regulations there. Look what's down here. My suitcase is squeaking. This, so you can't go through there. But that is where they take, I don't know, there's aliens down there or something, I don't know. And I'll show you something. Go through here, and I'll show you what you'll find. I think I might have showed you this before. It does seem familiar. Oh, it says no photography. Not too late now. Why no photography? Maybe this is why. That's the entrance to an underground base. Okay, welcome to Terminal 4. I've made it. Train journey. Once you get on the train, it's only about 5 minutes. And what I'm going to do now is I think if I remember, I did this last time. There is apparently, because I asked someone there about the trains in the morning, because I'm actually flying from Terminal 5 and staying at a hotel in Terminal 4 for reasons I'll explain. But they say there's a bus stop along here to stand 11 where there's like a shuttle that goes, it's a free shuttle that goes every 20 minutes to Terminal 5. And so I'm going to go along here and see if I can find it. Because I think I remember I did that before. Am I right? I've done this journey before, because I'm on the same plane essentially I was last time, at 10:10 to Los Angeles, and so I'm going to keep going along here and see what I find out. That's 13. It's stand 11 along here, and this bus is a free bus that takes me to Terminal 5, but it depends on the timetable because it's a bank holiday tomorrow and I have to leave very early. Here we are, stand 11, just up here. It's quite mighty. Exterminate, exterminate, exterminate. Now, this sort of tunnel structure will be familiar to you if you watched the first Bane in the Desert video. I'm actually going back to the same hotel I stayed at last time, the Premier Inn. It's just along here now. There is actually a Premier Inn at Terminal 5, but it's not. It's called the Premier Inn. Actually, it's called the Premier Inn Terminal 5. It's actually almost as far from Terminal 5 as this place, and there's very, very bad, what looks like very limited pedestrian access, which means unless you've got a car, it's actually not really worth staying there. You're better off just staying here in Terminal 4 because it's much easier to get to if you haven't got a car. So there's all kinds along Crown Plaza, Holiday Inn, Premier Inn. There's a Hilton as well, and I think if you just sort of look at me and you sort of know which one I'm going to. Am I going to the Hilton or the Premier Inn? Well, look at me. Obviously, I'm going to the Premier Inn. But yeah, it's like these. I can't check in just yet. I think it's 3 o'clock is the earliest check-in in time. I've still got about 20 minutes to wait. That's all right. I remember it was very nice last year, although I'm not in one of the deluxe rooms this year. For some reason I got in one last year, even though I didn't book it. And there's these very grimy windows you can see out. Well, I've made it to the Premier Inn. They allowed me to check in 10 minutes early, which was nice at no extra charge. And now I'll do the room tour later. I might have a little nap first, but it's a bright sunny afternoon. The first stage of this journey is complete. So fingers crossed for the rest of it. Okay, I've just woken up and here's this room, and it's a kind of normal Premier Inn room. There's my bed. I tried to have a nap and I couldn't sleep, but it's got a TV which I haven't switched on yet, and there's a safe so you can put things in there. I mean, I don't know what I put in there. I'm not sure. But here is the toilet, the bathroom and bog. Psycho shower, well, sort of big flat one. Mirror. Do I need to keep showing you these rooms? And I'm just about to have a cup of tea, and it's not just any tea. It is plant-based tea. Is there any other kind? Anyway, it's got this standard art, like Alexi Sale says about Keir Starmer, a piece of hotel art made man. It's not, there's no attribution, but it's like different to the one in the last time I was in the Premier Inn. It's like these nice little flowers. You can just see them there, very nice. And again, it's not every Premier Inn has them, so it's not like Travelodge, it always has the sort of cherries. This is different. Yeah, let's have a look out the window, see what's there. I'll switch that off now. What's outside here? You've got a window which you can't open. Wait, this window can't be opened. There's a constant stream of fresh air. Well, just as long as the fire doesn't break out. And there was a sign in the lift saying they test the alarms every Monday at 12:30 PM. So if you hear the alarm go off at 12:30 PM on a Monday, don't worry. Just hope they don't have a fire then. And I'm not as high up as last time. I had a bit better view than the last time I was at this hotel. There's a bit of greenery. I think I'm on the first floor, second floor, and you can sort of watch people coming in and out up that ramp to the car park if that amuses you. So that's my room for tonight, and it's not going to be a long night either because I've got to get up very early, really. I'm talking hospital portering early shift early. Let's hope I remember how to do that. Oh, that was a nice meal actually. It was actually pretty good. Time for bed, I think. I'm going to bed a bit early and I'm watching a bit of TV, but I've got to get up at 4:30. I mean, I don't have to, but I'm going to, because just because I'm not sure. I won't be able to get the train, so I'm going to have to get the bus, and I'm still not 100% sure the schedule, how long it takes, so I'm going to leave a lot of extra time just in case. So, night everyone. Good morning everyone, it's about 5:15 in the morning. I actually, I must have been, I woke up like about 3, couldn't get back to sleep, and my laptop clock's not working, and I was looking at the wrong time, so I'm probably going to miss the bus I wanted, but I can get the next one, which is actually will still get me there on time. But I'm now heading back to the Terminal 4 bus stop, which will take me to Terminal 5. As I said, this is still the quicker option than staying at the Terminal 5 Premier Inn, where I'd had a big long outside walk with very limited pedestrian transit routes. Here we go. Got it. Didn't have to wait as long as I thought. Well, I've made it to Terminal 5. Now, I do actually recommend if you're at Heathrow Airport, get one of these white buses. Not the red double deckers, you've got to pay for those. These white buses are free. You just get on and then just get off. So get one of those buses, and it'll take you to wherever you want within the airport, which is a big airport. I made it to Terminal 5, which, as I've said before, reminds me of Duran Duran's video, Union of the Snake. If you've ever seen that, you'll know what I mean. I've actually reviewed that particular video. Well, check-in doesn't open actually. Oh dear, someone's having trouble there. I'll go and help her. We just walked past her, how about that? Time to name and shame, or shame him anyway, that bloke there. Just walked past that lady who dropped her suitcases. I was going to go and help her, but someone else already got there first. There's just not enough. What happened to those heroes, you know? That song. Anyway, this is Terminal 5. I think it's the biggest enclosed space in the country. It's the biggest terminal here by far. Today's going to be a very long day, and I mean that not just in terms of notional time. I mean it literally, because if the plane departs on time at 10:10, I get to Los Angeles about 12 hours later, so that's 10 p.m. However, in Los Angeles there'll be 8 hours. The clock have to set the clock back 8 hours in terms of time zones, which I'm very familiar with doing interviews and things like that. So it'll actually be about 2 p.m. in Los Angeles, which means I'll essentially be going backwards in time if you consider time zones. So yeah. When I get there, I'll have to go through customs, of course, and then find my hotel and stuff like that. And then, of course, the conference doesn't start till Thursday, so I'll be there early. There's two reasons I've done that. Firstly, to take into account delays and things like that, generator failures and fires. If you're familiar with the history of this airport, you'll know that, or recent news. Secondly, there's something else I want to do first before I go to the conference. I'll tell you about that when I get there. Well, welcome to Terminal 5, ladies and gents. I'm here about 10 minutes early, so I've got to check my bag in, which is going to cost me money because I'm not in the posh seats today. I don't have my contact on the inside, so I'm going to have to go cattle truck class. I tried to get a standard economy. I actually tried to get a standard economy booking, and they were full up, so I had to go with basic economy, which means I have to pay to check this in. It's £113 to put that on the plane with me. Must make sure I have that money left when I come back, otherwise I have to leave this in the US. So I don't want to do really. I did that in Denmark. Do you remember? I had to leave my bag behind because they didn't have enough money to bring it back. I mean, I may get the opportunity to upgrade actually. I mean, but really it doesn't really matter because standard economy I'll have to pay extra to upgrade. It's unlikely they'll give me a free upgrade. And then I think it's an extra £113 to upgrade to standard economy. So what's the difference? You pay to upgrade and get your bag checked in for free, but then if you don't upgrade, you pay the same amount of money to check your bag in. The difference with standard is you can choose your seat. I'm probably going to end up stuck in the middle seats, which won't be very nice, but I say I don't have my contact on the inside with me, so no posh seats for me this time, unfortunately. A bit of an update. it said originally you could check in at 6:10. I now can't check in till 7:10, so I've got an hour to wander around here. It's better early than late, obviously, but I know where I'm going now. I know which section of this voluminous and capacious row of check-in desks I need to go to, so that's useful. Oh, there's one of my sister porters over there. I'll go and salute her. She's well, not technically a hospital porter, but it's close enough. Pride in doing this, sister porter. Okay, I've just found out that the section, the checking in section is different. It's C rather than D. I've still got to wait a little long. I'll tell you what, the queue is getting so long, I might just start waiting in it now, because by the time I get to the end of it, it'll probably will be 7:10. I was told you could check in at 6:10, and that they advise you to get there by 7:10 at the latest. Now it's saying you can't even check in at all till 7:10. So there you go. I bought my W.H. Smith over there. Doesn't have Nexus. I checked. There's a few books that are called airport exclusive, so they're only actually sold at airport bookshops. So maybe that's something I can get into. I don't know. And I bought myself a spare adapter for US sockets. Now, one thing I learned about the difference between Indian Wells and Las Vegas. I mean, in almost every way, Indian Wells is superior. It's a much more pleasant place by far, and it's got a much better atmosphere. It's much nicer. But in Las Vegas, you can go out any time of the day and night, any time of day or night, whenever you feel like it. Walk a few feet, and you can buy anything you want. In Indian Wells, the nearest grocery, if you remember from last year, the nearest grocery shop is like an hour's walk away. So I'm buying a spare US adapter. Well, two reasons. I might want to charge two things at once. And second, because I want to charge camera, phone, laptop. I've got all those things to charge, or my laptop's not working very well at the moment. And then I've got, and then of course you might lose one, or it might get broken, or might not work. So I've got a spare. Otherwise, I'll be up shit street if I can't really charge anything. Anyway, there you go. Well, I made it. I'm through. I'm in Terminal 5 now. As you see behind me, this is the air side. Wow, that was one of the most amazing check-ins and security checks I ever had, actually. You're not going to believe this. I mean, I got to the... Firstly, I went and I got a new TravelX card, and I only went there just to check it in the ATM, and it didn't work. That's because there's no UK currency on it, only foreign. US dollars doesn't show up on the ATMs. And then I went to the guy. He got me a new card, new PIN number, everything. And he said it's best to cancel the old one. He said you don't have to, but it's always a good idea to renew them every year or so. So I did. And then I changed some of my money and put it on the TravelX card. Then I went to check in. By the time I'd done that, I was going to wait till I got here to do it, because I thought I didn't have time. But by the time I'd finished, that was good timing. It was 5 minutes before 7:10, and I went to the Zone D to check in. It's all automatic. I mean, you know, it's like Tesco's with the auto tills. You know, I don't like those things. And so I said to but there's a man at the help desk, but there's no one that helps you check in. It's all everything. It's like you stick this thing on there, right? Stick that on. You see it? Stick that on there yourself, and you lift it onto the conveyor belt. And it takes it away. I mean, I wanted to ask him. I said, like, I've got this bag as well. It says on my booking form that these have to be under 10 kilograms. I says, is there any way I can weigh it to make sure? Because otherwise I'll put my laptop on here. You may wonder why I've still got this. I'll explain. And he said, don't worry. She said, no, don't worry about it. He says, because I said I'll put the laptop in here in the case. I'll shove the clothes down and like squeeze it in if this bag's going to be too heavy. And he said, no, that's all right. And he said something remarkable, because I was getting my money out to pay the check-in fee, because I'm on basic economy. You see, I actually used the auto thing to get my boarding card, and it didn't give me any option of seats. It chose a seat for me, and yes, as I expected, I'm right in the middle. So I'm right in the middle, so I can't see out the windows, and don't have access to the aisle, because that's what you get for basic economy. And so I was getting ready to pay £113 to check my bag in, and he says, go along to the security gate, to the north security gate, tell tell my colleague I sent you?" He says, "My name." I won't give you his name, but he's this Asian guy. He gave me his name. "Tell them I sent you, and they'll check your bag in for free." And I thought, things are looking up. This reminds me of David Icke in Vancouver, you know. They didn't know. "I don't want to see any of those papers." And there's a guy in the foyer who wants to see the papers they didn't want to see in the airport. "Call the police and Canadian immigration." And so I went along there, and he said, "Here you go," and he gave me a sticker. I've got the sticker somewhere. I think that's just in case I lose the bag on the way back or something. And then I showed him my boarding card. And he says, "Come this," and then he just said, "Just take everything through security." So I went through security, and they changed it since I was there last, right? You still have to use the clear plastic bags for the moisturiser, which I have to do because I have a dry skin problem. But now you have to empty your pockets and put them into the hand luggage. And so I had to stop and do that. And I was really scared about losing something. So I just parked myself in a corner with people walking past me and shoved everything I could into the bag. I don't know, maybe it's getting old or something, but I find these things more difficult to deal with. I'm starting to get like my dad. And so I went through security, and it's the same thing. But then the X-ray lady was there, and I don't like going through those X-rays because when I went through the Las Vegas one, this girl was like laughing at me, and that's because they can see through everything. You see, they can see through your clothes. Anyway, same thing happened last time. I got pulled over. I knew it because my tray came out of the machine, and it went beep beep beep, and I thought, "Oh god!" And it immediately put my tray onto like it went off the rollers, and I thought, "Oh god, what have I done now? What was it?" I'm sure that AK-47 I declared. Anyway, she said, "Oh, don't worry, we just got to scan your laptop again because we couldn't see it." And it's exactly the same thing as last time. And they ran that kind of strip over it as well to test it for drugs because they got like a strip thing they can test it for drugs. And then they just handed it back to me, and I walked through. And so they should take this to the gate. So I don't have to check it in first. They should take it to the gate, and they'll put it on the plane for nothing. Yeah. And now I'm here in Terminal 5, but there's really, unless you like shopping, there's nothing to do here. There's literally nothing to do except wait. But the good news is they're going to announce I'm not that early. At 8:40, they will tell me which gate I've got to go to for my plane, and the boarding starts an hour beforehand at 9:10, which means I've got less than an hour to wait. So yeah, so far so good. And you sit here watching the planes take off. You've got a nice view. You can watch the planes taking off if you like that sort of thing. Oh my god. Oh, it's a port in a storm. It's an oasis in the desert. It's a Wetherspoons. Yeah. Although I'm not going to drink anything because I'm not in the posh seats. I'm going to have to dehydrate myself a bit before this flight. Otherwise, I'll literally be like pushing the guy out of the way to go to the bogs every few minutes, and then telling there's always a queue. If you're in the cattle truck class, there's always a queue, massive queue for the bogs. So I'm not going to drink anything. So I'll have some when I get to LA. Right, guys, it looks like we've got one of these little funiculars again. I remember when I got back from one of these when I got back from. Was it last time? Anyway, it's gate C52 we've got to go to. It should say Los Angeles. No, C54. Right. C52 to 56. All right, I've got to get a transit. It's like a little train. I see. Okay. And it gives you it's like its own little. See, gate A, gate B, gate C52 to 66. Okay. Here we go. We've got plenty of time anyway. It's like a little underground train. And the last time we actually got on a bus and they took us for a 10-minute drive to where the plane was parked. It's not like that this time, I don't think. There we are at the gate. C54. One of those is our planes. I don't know which one. They all look the same. I don't know. Airbus 350s or 777s. I don't know. It's one of those, I think. This is where we are at the gate. You see the planes taking off and landing. I think by the time we land, I'll probably be missing those posh seats. It's who you know, you see. It's who you know. I just hope they stick me next to someone nice. any of the trolls are going to this conference. I mean, at least I suppose they'll be taking a different flight from me, so I won't risk being next to them. God, I couldn't honestly. Parachutes would be needed if I was next to certain people, I'll tell you. I'm telling you right now, that person back there is not real. A bit different from last time, isn't it? I've got the TV, but I can't get my bag in properly. Up there, so. But they told me to bring it with me. They didn't say, I wanted to check it in. They said, no, take it with you, it's fine. So it's up to them. Engine noise is much worse in the rear of the aircraft, so I can't really hear them moving. I know it very well. It's Greenland. Feels beautiful. It's just beautiful. There's a lovely view. Just the US Canadian border.
Local time is 12:35.
We've landed.
Seated with your seatbelt securely fastened until the button seatbelt.
We made it. Welcome to Los Angeles. Well, welcome to Los Angeles, ladies and gents. I made it. And I'll say more about the plane flight later. It was very different to the last two I've done when I come to the States. Going through customs was really easy. Again, people tell you horror stories about going through customs. You know, the US customs are really, really aggressive. Like, have you? Are you, or at any time, are you likely to be in the future a terrorist? Oh, you American pig. No, he asked me what I was doing there, and I told him. And I said to him, he asked me what Contacts in the Desert was about, and I said it was about UFOs. And he said, oh, you seen anything in the sky you couldn't recognise? Yeah. And we had a brief discussion about that, and then he asked me, have I got my return ticket? And I said, yes. And he asked me what date I was going home, and I told him, 6th of June. Yeah, it was a nice chap, and so I was it took about 2 minutes. They just took my photograph. They didn't take my fingerprints. I think they only did that the first time. Anyway, guys, yeah. So next stop, I've got to get to my hotel here in LA, which could be easier said than done. But I'm just going to take a moment to have a rest. I'm early anyway. I can't check in yet. Well, I'm outside now. They're building a new part over there. See if we can get a glimpse of the big flying saucer structure here, which you have at LAX. I've got to walk around here. Apparently somewhere around here there's a purple sign, which is where you get shuttle buses to the hotel. I mean, there's no real rush because I can't check in for about 2 hours. So, but anyway, here I am. I mean, I'm glad I got here early. I'm leaving plenty of time for everything on this particular expedition, because I'm not just going to Contact. There's other things I'm doing, because you probably guessed when I'm going to be here for nearly 2 weeks. So stay tuned. I will explain everything as I go along. I think it may be over there. I'll keep looking. Okay, it's much nicer up here actually. I think I'm in the right place. At least it doesn't mention the Holiday Inn, but I'm at it says here shuttles, so at some point the shuttles will turn up, I think. I'll ask someone. I know we men don't like doing that, but I will. I'll just say, Liz, can I get a shuttle to the Holiday Inn, which is where I'm staying? There's the UFO thing, you see? There's the control tower. And there's the weird UFO structure. Gareth told me about that, I remember. You can just see it, though, it's not very clear. It's there. It's like a landed flying saucer, isn't it? There's another one, there's two of these, I think, around the place. It's one of the hallmarks of this airport. Alright guys, well I've made it to the hotel in Los Angeles here. They wouldn't accept my Travelex card, which is annoying, so I had to put in my UK bank card. And I thought, oh, they're not going to. They won't like it because it's bloody UK currency on there. But it's got an auto convert system, so they accepted that. But that's just deposit. It's a $100 deposit, which I get back when I leave. But anyway, let's have a look out the window, see what kind of view we've got here. and it's it's a Plast Pro. I don't know what that is, but there's a McDonald's over there, of course, and there's the Holiday Inn flag there, and there's the Bruin, the flag of California, and then we've got Old Glory. If you remember the triumvirate you got at the Renaissance Esmeralda, which is probably still there, which we'll find out later in the week. Yeah, still there's the Hilton over there. Goodness me. We have grand neighbours here, haven't we? We have grand neighbours. I don't even see much taller than this because they look down their nose at us. Anyway, this is the room. I've got a king-size bed, which I didn't ask for. Now, as is often the case in US hotels, isn't the tea and the coffee and the kettle's not there, which is annoying. But they've got these coffee things here, but I bet you they charge for those. I bet you've got to pay for them. I'm not going to bother. So the room is pretty bare, actually. You've got a TV, but American TV is such shit. I don't particularly want to watch it. And in here, let's have a look at the bathroom. I've not been in here yet. Well, what's in here, first of all? Oh, it's locked. Oh, it's locked. It's probably like a secret door that leads somewhere. That's probably where the aliens are. Oh, no, I'm kidding. Or the interdimensional portal. So how do I switch this on? No, what's that? Oh, that's it. Right, here is your bog. And toilet, sink, a vog, a sink, a picture. And yeah. And there's your... I don't know what that is. But there's a light and... Oh, they give you soap and things. There's a psycho shower. That's very low. I'll have to do a duck under that. Anyway, so, as always in the US, there's a very small bath, and the toilet bowl is very full. So it seems to, in Britain we have bigger baths and smaller toilet bowls. I don't know why that is. But anyway, that's the toilet. I'm only here for 2 nights, and I'm going on to Indian Wells. That's going to be an adventure in itself. And here's the next bit of... I don't exactly know what that is. Is it a beach from above or something? That little circle thing in the middle of it? I don't know, but anyway, I need to get a drink. I'm not drinking that coffee. I think you can buy cold drinks in the lobby. I might get one of those. I'll get something to bring it up here. See, that's the usual triumvirate. You've got the Old Glory, you've got the Bruin, and you've got the flag of whatever institution it's actually representing. See what I mean? So that's the actual normal triumvirate, which I think seems to be quite common around here. I've just left the Holiday Inn. I'm going for a little walk. Partly because I want to stave off the jet lag. Because, God, this has been a long day. I told you it'd be a long day, and it bloody has. It's only about 6 PM here, but it's actually... Oh, Jesus, it's about 2 AM, according to the time zone I'm used to. There's a weird bloke walking towards me. I think this is an American version of one of Charlie Veitch's crackheads, so I'm going to let him go past. Yeah, that's in there. And now, another reason I want to do this is I need to start finding my way around. I'm going to visit the metro station because the metro. I mean, I've been taking advice from a friend of mine who lives in this area, who told me how to get around. You see, the thing is, like, what I'm doing tomorrow. I might as well tell you now. I'll say more about this later and tomorrow. Is I'm going to try and find Gareth Davis's grave. But to do that, I'm going to visit. I mean, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try. Which means I have to get to the area Gareth lived, Monterey Park. And when I'm there, I've done a little bit of inquiry, which has not been easy, and I'll say more tomorrow. But I'm going to try and find his grave. That's why I'm taking this extra day here in Los Angeles. So it means learning to get around on the metro. Now tomorrow's not going to be a problem because there's no rush, but then it's good to practice because, in fact, I might even do a dry run because what's happening on Wednesday morning? I'm going to have to leave really early. It's going to have to be an early start again. Hence my extra alarm clock that I brought with me. There it's nice, isn't it? It's actually quite cool. I mean, I'm surprised how cool it is here. It won't be like that when I get to Indian Wells, I'll tell you. You see, it's quite cloudy and it's cool. Oh dear. Don't know if there are foxes around here. It looks like the foxes have been at the bin. I got to be at a place called the Union Bus Station by 8:35 AM or earlier, because I'll need to check in and stuff like that to get my coach to to Indian Wells. It's good. It's going to a place called Indio. Now I've got to get a bus, a local bus, to Indian Wells. So yeah, it's a bit. It's going to be a bit hairy. So it all depends. I mean, there's a quick way of doing it. I can just jump on the metro, but there's actually something called the Flyway bus that goes from LAX to direct to Union Station. So I'm going to see if I can get to get that. I have to get to the airport, get my ticket, and get on the bus in time for it to drop me off at Union Station. Plenty of time, which means I've got to get to the airport early, really early. And it all depends on the shuttles. Now, according to the receptionist, shuttles they go every half hour, 24/7. So that might be useful. This is the official airport Holiday Inn, so it's going to have a pretty much 24/7 service. At a push, I could walk to LAX actually from here. It can be done. I was tempted to do it when I got off the plane, but I'll have to do I'll have to do a dry run. I'll do a dry run at the airport probably tomorrow afternoon when I get back from my adventure in Monterey Park. But then I'm going to go up to. I'm just going to go up just check out the metro station and work out exactly what I do to get the metro. Because this is something I've never done before. You know, this is the first time I actually visited this city properly. First time it was just like I was just passing through to go to the airport, if you remember. We just basically went to the airport, got an Uber, and then buggered off. But now it's a bit more complicated because I'm on my own. An Uber would be too expensive just for me. It's $170. I can't. For one person, that's just too much. It was all right when it split between me, Colin, and Mark, but not with just me. So that's what I'm going to have to do is the West End. See, it's all this big building around here. It's very, very grand. You know what it reminds me? See, there's another triumvirate there. Do you know what it reminds me? Do you know what this reminds me of? Swindon. Whoever thought LA would remind me of Swindon? So, Sargon of Akkad, if you're watching, yes, laugh away. There, here we go. I'll just carry on along here. Look, there's roadworks going along here. I actually went over to the station over here, this metro station, Aviation Boulevard, very, very appropriate name, next to the airport. And he gave me a lot of help. He gave me a map as well, so it's very useful. And now I'm coming up here. You can't walk on that side. It says sidewalk closed. So I've got to go up here. I like the word sidewalk. I mean, sidewalk is a better word than pavement, really, because pavement just means it's much more vague. I mean, Americans call the tarmac pavement. You see, you've got to realise, like, if you're not a native English speaker, that although Americans speak a form of English which is intelligible, it's mutually intelligible with British English, which of course where English originated in England. However, they use a lot of words, different words to us, and so for example, I mean, they get it, you know, people who don't speak English first language often get it wrong. So for example, when I was at the hotel in Denmark, when I went to UFO Denmark, they have the word elevator for lift. It has the word elevator with a Union Jack beside it. They simply use the American word for that. Now, in Britain, we never call these things elevators. We always called them lifts. We never used the word elevator. But anyway, I just want to walk up here. Actually, there's another metro station called Westchester Veterans, which is the one I've got to get to. He's been very helpful, this chap. It's very like the London Underground. There's different lines, and you've got to change at certain stations. Now, I mean, it may actually be easier to get to the Union Station using this method, rather than going all the way to LAX and messing around with shuttles and buses. Depends on how early they start, because I'm going to have to get one very early. Also, apparently at rush hour it's quite difficult. They get very crowded. It's difficult if you've got a big suitcase. But, you know, I might have to risk it. Anyway, I'm going to have to walk up here now. It appears there's something. I don't know if that's a metro station up there. We'll find out. See, this here is a sidewalk. It's like you walk on the side of the road, and sidewalk. Much more logical, isn't it? This is a great place for plane spotters, because this is the approach to LAX here. See, I've seen this is the fourth plane I've seen flying over, and so I walk along here, and I can turn right and double back to the Holiday Inn. There's the bike track there. Okay, another thing to realise if you're in the States, right? These zebra crossings are not what they are in the UK. They're actually called crosswalks. They're not zebra crossings, and they are actually the only place that you're allowed to. Can I go down there? She's shut down there. Can I go down here? They're actually the only place road work ahead. Oh no, there's the Holiday Inn. I can get to it. You can see it from here. No, in fact, you're actually not allowed to cross most the big roads, main roads, unless there is a crosswalk. So yeah, it's worth knowing if you're here. You could get stopped by the police and at least warned if you try crossing one of these big roads when there's no crosswalk. So we're nearly back to the Holiday Inn now. Okay guys, it's 5 AM, still dark. I've got to realise here, you know, we're much further south. We don't have these exaggerated seasonal daylight and cycles that you do up in the UK. But I decided to do a dry run for my trip to Union Station tomorrow. And I'm still toying with the idea of whether to use the metro or the flyaway bus. So I'm going to try the flyaway bus today. Hello everyone, well welcome here to East Los Angeles, which is where Gareth lived. I got here on the metro, which is actually a little bit like London Underground. You have to get like a tap card. I'll show you in the souvenirs. But it's like your card which you charge up like you do the Oyster on London Underground. And then you just tap it against there's no turnstiles, but you have to like tap it against these little posts, and they say remember to tap out when you transfer. To transfer just means entering or leaving the system. I thought it meant changing from one line to another, but luckily I didn't do that because I've had to pay extra. I had to charge it up with so much money from a machine. You basically stick some money in the slot, just like London Underground. It takes about half an hour to get here from Union Station, which is where I went to. I've done a dry run from my trip tomorrow, and now I've got to find my way to the way I'm going now. Now, Gareth lives. It's still quite a long walk actually to get to where Gareth lived and where I suspect his ashes are buried. He does have cremated remains. He was cremated, but I suspect I know where. After doing some inquiries, I suspect I know where his cremated remains might be interred. But say, you know, if you come to LA, it's actually one thing you notice about this straight away is like nearly everyone I've seen speaks Spanish. All the staff at my hotel are Spanish speaking, and they call these Latins. The United States is the second biggest Spanish-speaking country on earth, actually, Mexico being the first. Spain is like a measly 5th or 6th, I think. But, so, yeah, I mean, English is the official language of the US, all the states apart from New Mexico, where it's bilingual. But really, you know, if you stand on the station, about 3/4 of the people are clearly Hispanic or Latin. They are dark-coloured because they have Amerindian DNA. And they're Spanish speaking, and they can tell when you talk to them, you can tell by their accents that they are Latin. And all the signs are in all the road signs, just like Wales, all the road signs are bilingual. And so now I'm heading to where I've got to go along through this area of bungalows. There's little bungalows and things like that. Lots of security fences on the. Lots of like security gratings on the windows indicates it's probably quite a high crime area. I'm glad I'm coming here in daylight. It's actually pretty early in the morning, only it's not even 8 o'clock yet. I got up earlier. I got up early to do my dry run. I mean, I couldn't sleep after about like 2 AM, so I thought, well, I might as well just do a dry run to the airport using just check how reliable the shuttles and the bus is. Now, one thing is, road transport is very reliable here in the States, but they're so dependent on their cars. It's not like it was. Do you remember when I was at, what was it, Earth Mysteries Conference, and the trains were cancelled because of a strike, and I had to wait for. I waited a bloody hour for a bleeding rail replacement bus, and I eventually got the last train, which wasn't the only one that was running, back to St Anne's. And it was pouring with rain. Do you remember that? Yeah, it's not like that here. So I think I can rely. I think I won't bother with the metro tomorrow morning. I will get the hotel shuttles go regularly every half hour around the clock, and then which you'd expect from an airport hotel, and then well, I think I've got to go that way, I think, and then and of course like there's a thing called Flyaway, which is a very reliable bus service between LAX and Union bus station. I'll show you those things tomorrow. But anyway, I've got to find my way. I've got quite a long walk to go, so we'll get on with it. I've got to press this, like it's the same as Las Vegas, press that to get across the road. There's some very nice gardens along here, I must say. That's lovely, isn't it? Look, beautiful, really well done. Right, I've had a look at where I'm going. I've got my Google Maps here, of course, on my phone, and I've got a feeling it's somewhere up that hill over there. But I must say I'm blessed with very cool weather today. It's an overcast, as you can see, and temperature's quite low. It's almost chilly actually. And Gareth told me, you know, it's actually pretty hot here, much hotter than Wales, where he comes from. It's actually really, in the summertime, it's much warmer than Britain. It's not hot like it is in the desert, where I'll be going tomorrow, but it's hotter than Britain by far. And so I'm quite glad of that actually. It's one of the reasons I came early in the morning. I planned to come early in the morning to do this, because I knew there'd be a long walk ahead of me. Even for an ex-hospital porter, you know, you need it can get a bit much. But I've got a feeling I've got to go up that hill. But anyway, I'll see. It's been quite nice around here, despite the security gate and everything. I don't know, I got the idea to do this, I think, when I was at Contact in the Desert last year. In fact, I got the idea to do a couple of things I'm going to do this time round, hopefully. And I said, you know, we came through LA, and I said it on the plane, didn't I? When we landed, this is where Gareth Davis lived. And I thought, if he has some kind of grave, it'd be nice to see it. Just to visit it, just to pay my respects. And it's been a bit tricky. Organising this has been pretty tricky actually, because without going into too much detail, his family are not very amenable. I mean, his Welsh family are. That's his own biological family. But his in-laws over here are not. He was married to an American woman who he met in Wales, and actually he married her and came to live over here with her. And that's where he's been ever since. That's why he talks with an American accent. He can do a Welsh accent still, but he talks with all the rest of his family do. But he talks with an American accent because he's been over here since his early 20s. And he's 53 when he died. And so he's sort of like naturalised. Yeah, he's an American. He's got dual citizenship. Welsh American, yeah. And so, and he worked for Activision Blizzard. It's a computer game. And I'm not going to go all the stuff that I talked about when I was in Las Vegas, which, you know, this idea that he might still be alive. When I get more melancholy later, I probably will, but right now I don't want to go into that, because it is wishful thinking. It really is. But those of you who follow me closely will know that I visited my friend Barry's grave, and I found it. I didn't know where he was. You see, it's with Barry, if you remember, was this guy. I did a video called Barry Dies. Do you remember? I found his grave in the end. Barry was this guy. He was first he was a telephonist, then he became an X-ray filing officer at the John Radcliffe, and I suppose he became a kind of surrogate father for me. It's not an exaggeration to say that, but I think because my own parents have always been very distant. They're not abusive, but emotionally neglectful, I'd say. They've always wrapped up in their own lives and really didn't have much time for me, I thought. And my mum was, I'm talking about my dad. My mum was abusive. She was emotionally abusive to me. My dad wasn't. But he was incapable of doing anything to stop other people being abusive to me. And indeed, physically abusive in the case of Centaur. And emotionally abusive in the case of my mum, and psychologically abusive in the case of Isabel Menzies Lithe. So Barry became a kind of surrogate father figure. You don't have to be like an ace psychologist to work that out. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you say, well, Ben, why all your girlfriends seem to be older women? And yeah, I don't. It's obvious, isn't it? We seek for surrogate parental figures in our lives when we lack them. Why don't I go from here? Let's watch the wall to the Vatican. But I managed to find Barry's grave. It was at this. I'll wait to try and cross this road and I'll get back to you. I want to get this sorted out. Oh, that. Beautiful up here. That's quite a lovely hill. I mean, funny enough, this actually reminds me of parts of South Wales, with these hilltop houses and these halfway up the hill houses. Okay, guys. I'm now walking down the street where Gareth Davis lived. And guys, I've just walked past Gareth Davis's old house. And not the one he lived in because he moved about 3 months before he died. But no, it's his family home. I just walked past it. It's pretty. I won't show. Obviously, I'm not going to show you where it is, but it's a pretty nondescript location. Bungalow, like many others. It's sort of pastel coloured stucco walls, little windows. It has a veranda, little American flag, Renault car in the driveway. Obviously his wife's, his widow's. But I mean, a lot of you are thinking, why don't you go knock on the door and just say, introduce yourself to his family? He's got his wife and 2 children still living there. The answer is no, I'm not going to do that, because they are not very hospitable to Gareth's side of the family. But it's just, but I'll say more about that later. But anyway, it was just lovely walking past it, because I looked, you walk past it and there's like the front garden, and there's a driveway. Around the side of the driveway, you can see this you can actually see this on Google Earth. There's this sort of detached garage, and then behind that there's a shed, and there's like a shed. It's like an outhouse, and that's where Gareth used to. That was Gareth's man cave, because he basically his wife turfed him out of the house and made him set up his like mindset woo-woo stuff in this little outhouse. It was an indication actually quite early on that Gareth's marriage was not the happiest in the world. But I mean, I actually saw that, like, you could just see it when you look at the driveway and you look behind. There's like an alleyway, like a lot of houses have, and then there's a detached garage, and behind that there's a little outhouse attached to the garage, and that's where Gareth had all his books and his DVDs and all his like stuff to do with UFOs and the paranormal and conspiracy theories and stuff like that. And then that's where he had his computer set up, and that's where he had his microphone and camera and used to present the mindset from there. And so every Sunday, whenever I could, 2 p.m, it'd be 6 a.m. here. He never got a Sunday lie-in, Gareth. Every Sunday he'd be in there, in that house, up at 6 a.m, up before 6 a.m, ready to start the show at 6. I mean, what a guy he was. And I saw the building where he presents the mindset from, and this is why I've been blowing my savings and coming to places like this, because to do like to conferences like Contact in the Desert, because there was so many things I'd made plans to do with Gareth. I was going to come over and see him. I was going to go to one of the American conferences, and I was going to come and visit him on the way. And I didn't do it, and now it's too late. How's that poem go? Gather ye rosebuds while ye may. Never a truer word spoken. Okay guys, it's been a long walk, but I'm almost at the cemetery where I think if Gareth's remains are interred anywhere, they'll be here. Now, why am I so uncertain? Because it's difficult to know how I can find out. You see, as I said, Gareth clearly had an unhappy marriage, and he's married to his wife called Karen, who I think is one actually. And he had his kids. His kids were like 14 and 18. His son was 18. His son was 14. His daughter was 18 when he died. Poor kids. And they lived in that house I'd just been past. Then Gareth moved out. He moved into a flat somewhere else, not far away. But he basically, his wife and he separated, and this was sort of something I kind of could see coming, And then when he died, there was a huge amount of confusion. This is where I think this idea came from that Trevor and I talked about. That I mentioned in the Meadows video. That Gareth is still alive and he's going to meet us in Vegas. That kind of thing. It's just nonsense. I wish it wasn't, but it is, and it's wishful thinking. Obviously, it's because we loved him so much, and we are upset that he died. And secondly, there was this air of mystery around when he died, which was to do with the fact that his American family really said nothing and did nothing. They said almost nothing to the Welsh family. I mean, this happened in like 2021. The whole world was in lockdown, so he had a funeral and was cremated very soon after he died at the hospital, and none of the Welsh family could go anyway because, of course, all the planes were grounded. There was no travel at all, and so his American family basically had a funeral for him, and he was cremated. But I'm approaching a cemetery where if they have interred his cremated remains, they may have just scattered them, you know, some people do. They may have kept them. Some people keep their loved ones' ashes in a pot on the shelf. I don't know how I do that, but they are somewhere in this cemetery. His ashes were buried somewhere in the cemetery, and I'm going to try and find it. Now this is, and I mean, it's tricky because I only had one contact. I was dealing with a single contact, another lady also called Karen, who lived in the area, who was a friend of the family, and I lost touch with her. She disappeared from Facebook now. I can't get hold of her. I've tried many of Gareth's and I's mutual friends, and they don't know. His brother doesn't know. It's like, I know his brother quite well. He doesn't know. I mean, no one seems to know. But I'm pretty sure if they had any kind of burial for him, it would be somewhere in this cemetery here, which is it's basically the principal cemetery for cremated remains for all these people in this area. I was looking into it. All the people in these areas, in this particular area where Gareth lives, this district, Monterey Park, it's in this area that he's likely to be buried, somewhere in there. So I'm going to go in and have a look. But it's sad, you know, because I lost touch with this lady, and we were trying to make arrangements for. Once I got across this road, it's a bit tricky. There's no lights here, see. I'll say more on the other side of the road. Here it is, the Resurrection Cemetery. I'm not going to film in there. I might take a very brief shot of the grave if I find it. But it appears to be a pretty typical kind of crematorium cemetery, very like the one in Kidlington where Barry was buried, where his ashes were buried. So it's somewhere in there. I do know he was cremated, that's for certain. And this is likely where he's going to be. But it's a huge place. I mean, I said that, see, I had that feeling when I went. I mean, I'm now going to trust in the spirit of Gareth to guide me, just like I trusted in the spirit of Barry to guide me. You know, I said to Barry, look, I don't know, I can never find. There's probably about 1 million people buried here. You know, there's like every time they bury someone, they plant a tree, and there's like about 20 acres, and there's trees everywhere. Which one's you, Barry? And I'll ask the spirit of Barry just to show me where he is, just to guide me. And I found Barry's grave. I found it. So I'm now going to ask the spirit of Gareth. Gareth, if your ashes are somewhere in this enclosure, this very, very large, it's much bigger than the one in Kidlington, I'd say, cemetery, crematorium cemetery, could you please show me where that is? And please guide me to you. I'm going to have a wander around. There's a funeral going on over there. I'll leave them in peace. I won't go near them. But this is the place to go. It's somewhere around here, but where? Oh God, look at it. It's huge. Look at the size of it. This probably ain't going to work. But anyway, Gareth, if you can guide me to your grave, please do so. Okay, I'm out of the cemetery now. Okay, all the mystery is now partly solved by means. It's unsolved, but one possibility has been eliminated. Gareth has not been laid to rest in that cemetery. I mean, it didn't take me long to find this out. I didn't have to walk around every single grave, which would probably take me about a week. They have an office there. They have a crematorium and they have an office. I went in there, spoke to the chap in there. He looked it up on his computer. I gave him Gareth's name, and he said we got no one there of that name who's been interred since at least 1990. No Davis with an E. There's also Davis without the E, but no Davis with an E. So he's not in there. So unfortunately, this part of the mission has failed. Maybe I'll get more information. In the meantime, I'm going to have to leave this where it is. But if Gareth's out there somewhere, if he can see me, Gareth, I just hope you appreciated the effort I've tried. I wanted to stand at your graveside. Miss you a lot, Gareth. We all do. Right, this is all part of the Hilton, this golf course here. Just walking along this road. Funny thing is about things you get used to when you're here. You're not used to them. One of them is shadows. I was actually it's the light feels unnatural, and the sun is very high. It's now we're only a couple of weeks off the summer solstice. It's about midday, so the sun has reached its like highest level, and it's like really weird because I was looking, you know, it just feels wrong that it's this high in the sky. to me, I'm just these little things you get used to subconsciously if you live in a certain part of the world, a certain latitude. And I was looking around. I wanted to look at my mobile phone, so I looked for some shadow because I can't see it in the bright sunlight. I thought, where's my shadow? Where's my shadow? I thought, there it is. It's that little thing down there. My shadow is tiny. I've never seen my shadow so small before. That's because the sun is so high. That's why. That's one of these little things. It's like the overfilled toilet bowls and the little baths and all the other strange things about being in this country, you know. Spooky. I'm all down here by myself. We're at the metro station. Reminds me of Jacob's Ladder. There was almost a punch-up on the last train I was on. It was like this black woman stood there yelling at this bloke calling him M and F.
Thanks for going Metro. For your personal safety, please keep your phone and other electronic devices out of sight and don't buy items from sellers or give money to solicitors. Report any issues by using the train intercom, station intercom, the sheriff's hotline at 888-950-SAFE 7233 or use Metro Transit Watch app. If you see something, say something.
Oh, I never have to give any money to solicitors. Yeah, but the thing is, like, and everyone just got up and went into the next coach because she was effing and blinding at me, calling him N-word, MF word, things like that. And another thing I noticed people in LA do a lot. You see a lot of people walking around just playing music really loudly on portable devices, like really with little speakers, you know. Loads of people do that, riding along on bikes or walking along or sitting in the train just doing that. It's strange. It doesn't bother me particularly, it's weird. Okay, I'm almost back at the Holiday Inn now. I'm going back to the Holiday Inn. I don't think I'll go out again today. I had an amazing journey back actually, apart from the people mouthing off on the metro. I just got off there's a replacement bus between two of the stations, and the lady who drove the bus was this very flirtatious old black lady, and I had a long conversation with her. She was being very flirty. She's nice actually, and she says, "Oh, my name's Coco." She says, "What's your name? And where's your wife? Where are you from and everything?" And she said, "Did you bring your wife with you to LA?" And I said, "I haven't got a wife." She said, "Really? Oh." And she said she's been widowed, her husband's died, and she said, "You know, you can go and see Hollywood." She said, "You're here for LA just for one day, go and see Hollywood." And I said, "Well, I'm not really in the mood." I couldn't really tell her, you know, that seeing Hollywood doesn't really interest me, you know. It seemed a bit rude, seeing as that's the main claim to fame of this city. So, final thoughts on LA. I'm not going to tomorrow morning, but I probably won't go out again today. Final thoughts. It's a strange place. Not bad, not good. I mean, it's big. I've only seen a part of it. There's probably different areas of different kind of like. They're different in many ways. The people, like I said, are not what I expected. They're probably the population. I mean, the people is probably the same as what you find in Mexico. They're mostly, I forgot what the word is. Basically, racially Amerindian, Spanish-speaking people. More than 75%. There's maybe 20% of people like 10% white, 10% black. Maybe it's different in different parts of the city. It's a city that has a smell. It has a smell of its own, actually. It's kind of different from, even though I said Las Vegas had a particular smell, this place has got a smell too. It's kind of, again, it's one that's hard to identify, fruity almost. It's kind of fruity smell. It's everywhere. Architecturally, it consists almost entirely of two types of buildings, just two. 100-foot skyscrapers and bungalows. You get literally like, you know, little clusters of these 100-foot skyscrapers, like a rock garden sticking out the ground. And then surrounding it for miles and miles and miles is an endless sea of bungalows. And the bungalow areas have a huge number of overhead wires, telegraph wires, electric wires. It's like a spider's web over the top of the buildings. What other impressions? Very few impressions. I was laughing at this actually. But what else? I don't know if I've been here long enough to make any other judgment, actually. It's possible I can't really make another judgment until I know. Until I've been here maybe longer, but I'm not going to spend long here. I'm looking forward to seeing my friend. This is actually a bit kind of I haven't really done that. I've been completely sending it right now. At the end. I've spoken to people just like that lady. The best conversation I've had with that lady, the bus driver, and apart from that, to do after that. I probably won't go out again today. I'm tired and I'm sad, you know. It's the thing with Gareth is kind of like put me in a rather melancholy mood. I'm worried about home as well. I mean, I'm worried about my daughter and everything, and there's no reason to be, but it's because I'm so far away from her, you know. So I worry about her, about if she's okay, you know. Cross over here. So that's it. I'll be leaving tomorrow. I'll be glad to get out of here actually and get down to Indian Wells for the conference. That's what I'm here for primarily. So I've got to go. But then that's not all I'm doing though. I'm after contacting the desert. There's more, and I'll explain more when I get to it. Anyway, back to the Holiday Inn now, I think. Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful view here. Look at that. It's nice. Just come at 6:20 in the morning, and I'm heading on. Have a nice look at Los Angeles. It reminds me of They Live. They Live, of course, being set in this city. It's the opposite of the usual bungalows. You see what I mean about kind of like island of skyscrapers amidst a sea of endless bungalows. Well, welcome to Los Angeles Union Station, which is really quite an extraordinary pile. This is. I mean, the inside is even more incredible. It literally looks like something from Atlas Shrugged. Very Art Deco. It's really, really nice. But I can't film in there. There's lots of signs up saying no filming without permission, and I'm tempted to do the Charlie V thing, or I gave myself permission, but I'm not going to do that. Anyway, I'm here because I'm about to take my first coach trip in the United States. It's cloudy again. It's coach. Cool. Bus. Welcome to this place. It's called San Bernardino. We stopped for a moment. Warming up now. The overcast is clearing. It's warming up very quickly. So by the time we get to India, it's probably going to be back to its usual desert conditions. There is what looks like a railway stockyard over there. Lots and lots of railway tracks. Anyway, we've got a little break, and then we're going to carry on this coach. Welcome to Indio, ladies and gentlemen. This place here, which is it reminds me of like Alice Springs in Australia. Actually, it's really hot. Once the overcast clears, it really starts getting hot. I've now got to get to. I've now got to get to Indian Wells, and to do that, I've got to get number 1 bus. And the guy, my phone's not working properly, so I can't really know exactly where I am. But the chap inside the Greyhound office, they were very helpful. And he's pointing me to, I've got to find a place called Applebee's, and there's the bus stops there, so it's got to go like, he said there's a place called Applebee's where the bus goes. So anyway, I'm going to try and go along here, see if I can find it. I'll stop and ask more directions if I have to, but he says it's around here, he says it's somewhere over here, so oh god. Anyway, let's see how it goes. It's bloody hot here. I won't stay out in the sun too long. Video done over. So let's just film where I'm going. There we go. Well, welcome everyone. This is going to look very familiar to you, I'm sure, if you're a regular on this channel, especially if you've watched my last video about this particular location, Ben in the desert. That there is the Renaissance Esmeralda up there, and I'm going over here, in this direction, to the Indian Wells Resort. Oh, it's nice. This is really got Renaissance Esmeralda Grand Hyatt. This is just so. This is exactly the kind of. Exactly how I remember it. And the weather's turned hot again now, so. All there's intermittent cloud all day. Just press that, and then you've got to go over these lights. Intermittent cloud ever since we left LA, but now it's back to its usual very hot weather. I don't know what it is, 90 something probably. Even with the clouds, you know, it doesn't stay cool for long here. You know, I've had an amazing thing happen though, and it's just like one of these wonderful strokes of luck or divine providence or something like that, or you get the feeling someone's like looking after you, you know, someone's watching your back. I was walking, I got, like I say, got off at Indio, as I showed you, and I had to find my way to the bus stop to get the Sunline bus here. It's called the Sunline number 1, and I had no idea where the hell I was going, and my phone stopped working. It didn't work with enough accuracy for me to use maps to find it. And then I asked the guy behind the counter, and he started giving me directions. And he just, good old, I said, I'm going to have to do this the old-fashioned way, mate. You know, just give us some directions, just tell us where I need to go. And he just said, yeah, go this way. You've got to find a place called Applebee's. And he was like one of these really cheerful black guys, you know, really exuberant. And he was more. I think he was more fun than helpful, I must say. But then I started walking in the general direction he was pointing, and there was this other. Suddenly I heard someone coming up behind me, and there was this young woman with a suitcase like me, and she'd been on the coach actually from LA. And I said to her, "You don't happen to know where Applebee's is?" She says, "Yeah, I'm going there myself." She said. It turns out she was on the same bus as me. Now she's going to Joshua Tree, not to Indian Wells. But I said, "Well, can I follow you?" She said, "Yeah, of course." And she introduced herself. Her name's Eve. And I introduced myself and told her where I was, and I told her where I was going as well. And of course I mentioned the UFOs, and she's open-minded about it, you know. She's open-minded to the UFOs. And yeah, before you know, we were like having a really good conversation. She's a really young girl. I mean, she's probably early 20s, black girl, very, very, very likable. You know, obviously, you know, very, very sort of like, what's the word? Sympathetic and very, 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 very like caring. And if it hadn't been for it would have taken me probably a couple of hours to find that place if it hadn't been for her and her working phone. That actually works for her. See, like foreign mobile phones, they tend to log on to the most convenient contact when they're in this. It's not always the best one, which means I might not be on the best network right now because I'm registered to a UK company. Okay, let's cross over here. I think I'm all right to go over here. Don't bother with the lights. And so you've got to remember, look the right way when you're crossing, guys. So, I'm nearly there now. So I'm probably too early to check in, but I'll go and sit. I'll just hang around. They may even check me in early. It's wonderful. It's really good bit of luck there. Hey guys, I made it. I'm in. Yay, I'm in. I was a little bit worried actually that the bank might make a fuss about my bank card, but they haven't. So I forgot to tell them I was going away. I mean, it shouldn't be a problem. I told them last year I was coming here, and I thought it's not that way. It'd be a problem. I'm not going to like freeze my card because of that. But you know, they're finicky for things like that here in the States. You've got to like have a valid credit card that works, and then you know, apparently my Travelex card wouldn't work at the Holiday Inn in LA because it didn't have my name on. You have to have one with your name on. And that show ID, which I did. That's please. Anyway, I'm back in the room now. It's literally identical to the room I was in last year, but it's in a different place. It's actually on a different part of the building. It's on the other side of the building, and it's on the ground floor. And once again, I have a wonderful view over Highway 111. And I thought I'd be lucky enough to get the golf course this time, but no such luck. Not to worry, I'm not complaining. It's still very, very nice, and I can go out if I want to. But it's a little bit too. I won't go out there just yet. I'll just do a quick room tour. What's often the case of these hotels? They don't have a big light in the middle of the ceiling. I've noticed that here. The ceiling is as high as always, and the hotel art is exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Well, I don't know if that was there, but that was definitely in the other room. I recognise that. Same chair, table, same big bed. That's the sprinkler system there. And there's the other painting, which is, I think is exactly the same. So, onto the toilet, which how's it get in? We've got to turn that on. There we go. And again, identical, same as last time. Very nice. Psycho shower, small bath, overfilled toilet as per American traditions. And there's a hairdryer, which thank goodness for that. That's just what I really needed. And there's this book of instructions here, which freaked me out a bit. This is just the Indian Wells guest service directory. I won't show you all the pages because a lot of them are like numbers and things, but there's a thing about safety and information. And you go down here and it's like, where is it? Earthquakes. Tell if you're inside the buildings, get under a table, desk or bed or other sturdy piece of furniture to protect yourself from falling objects. Try to shield your head, face and front. Stay away from large glass items like windows and mirrors. Oh bloody hell. Earthquakes, jeez. Holy hell, I hope we don't get one. I mean, they are pretty... this is an earthquake area. I mean, I've never even been in an earthquake. I've never seen an earthquake. You know, the nearest I've been to an earthquake was... Basically, I was standing on this pad at the Geology Museum in London years ago when I was a kid. They had this, like, plate. You stand on it and it shakes to give you an impression of what earthquakes would be like. But earthquakes have done terrible damage in this area. They really have. So, just fingers crossed we won't get one. Hope not. But, yeah... What I'm going to do is I'm here early, and they did let me check in on time. They let me check in early, which is nice. They didn't have to till 4 PM, but they said, yeah, your room's ready. Go and check, put me into a room that's ready. And so basically, I just got to hang around and wait for others to arrive, which will probably take about 6 hours. That's all right. Again, I can make coffee or tea if I want, but it costs you. Even a bottle of water is probably £3, but we have a glass here and I'm going to do the very un-Californian thing and I'm going to drink water from the tap. Gareth used to tell me actually, here we never drink water, we never drink tap water here. And I said, well Gareth, what is it, poisoned or something? No, it's perfectly alright, but we just don't do it. It's just, you drink bottled water only, he said. Oh, so yeah, I mean that's just the thing they do here. They think I'm going to pay, I'm an English, British guy, and I can pay £3 for a bottle of water? No way. Anyway, got an air conditioning, which is what you need. It's actually pretty noisy, but without it, this room will very quickly become unbearable. Alright, so guys, that's it. I'm going to just mooch around for a while, maybe do a bit of exploring, and then later on I'll do a dry run to the conference and just see who's there. Maybe when the bar opens, I'll just go and see if anyone's in the bar who I recognise. So there, yeah, nice one. Great to be back. Great to be back. Yeah, this is the view that Colin and Mark had last year. Look, I was on the other side of the building last time. I was facing the other way. Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely, it's so beautiful. It's so different from Las Vegas. Anyway, it's about 5:30. It's still like, oh God, it must be in it. I don't know what temperature it is. I'll check on my phone in a minute, but it's really hot. And I'm going to actually do a dry run to the venue and see if I can see anyone there. There's no one I can recognise in the hotel, in the public areas, but it's quite a quiet hotel here. The bar's hardly ever open. You know, no one's eating. But guys, we're off. I'm going to do a dry run. Now I know where to go because last time, you remember, I had to wander along this wall to find my way in, but now I know the way in. So I'm going along here. Look at that skyline, it's just so beautiful. It's got a clean energy, this area. It's clean, pure kind of beauty. Not angry, not intimidating. I better turn the camera that way because there's too much sunlight. Yeah, bloody hell. It's got to be, I mean I haven't checked yet, but it's like, it's got to be in the high 90s here. Definitely at least in the high 90s, even though it's like 5:30 in the afternoon. What you find is that, as I think I mentioned this last year, that the sun sets like I think 7:50. It's 7:49 PM tonight, and it's no twilight. It's daylight 1 minute, night the next. Literally, the sun. There's no real gloaming, as you call it in Britain, where there's a long period of dusk. It's daylight and it's night, day then night. Clouds all gone. It's quite so hot. The moment the overcast disappears, it really heats up quick here. I'm checking out. I don't want to start on a negative, but I had a bit of a disappointment. I've been watching Ashton Forbes live on my laptop. This means Ashton's not here because he was in his home. I hardly ever catch him live because I mean he only streams really late at night in my time zone, but now I'm in the same time zone. I can get him when he normally streams. He always streams sort of afternoon his time when he gets home from work. By then I'm going to bed. It's just like 1:30 in the morning UK time. And I caught Ashton live at his home. It means he's not coming here. I was hoping I would love to meet him. He did say he was going to come to contact in the desert, but he's obviously not now. Is he? He decided not to. It's a shame. There you go. Anyway, I'm sure I'll go up here. I'm going to see a few people I know, probably would arrive this evening like me. I did ask the receptionist, anyone else from the conference here, and they said, yeah. They've had one other person already in the hotel from the conference. I don't know who they are, I've not seen them yet. I might see them at breakfast. Got to book breakfast, actually. Breakfast changed, actually. I think they took note of people's criticisms because we wanted something a bit more substantial, like a cooked breakfast. And so they've done away with the buffet. I don't know if you book it in advance. You know, the sandwich buffet and stuff they've done away with. So I'm thinking of maybe having a cooked breakfast tomorrow. They'd actually have some cooked food tomorrow. Anyway, there it is, the Indian Wells, and the Renaissance is one of those. It's actually one of those hotels. There's several hotels in that sort of complex, and the Renaissance is one of them. And there's that bar we were at last time, Johnny's Bahama. Johnny Bahama, that's it. Yeah, I don't know if I'll pop in there later, but I'm just going to cross over the road now and head over here. Oh, I can worry my camera might overheat. Actually, it's so hot, so I'll switch it off for a while. Look at this, the lawn and the plants. It's lovely gardening here. And look at this lawn. This is real grass. When I first saw it, I thought it was like fake grass. It's not. There's a few bare patches, but look, apart from that, it's all perfect. There's no clover or daisies or anything in it. It's just all perfect. I mentioned this earlier, but you know, the irrigation here is incredible. I mean, anyway, there's another hotel over there. We got to go right there, Esmeralda. I checked the climate data for this area, and it is literally a desert. I mean, they get less than 5 inches of rain a year here. Temperatures, you know, daytime temperatures in the summer, you know, regularly average, you know, above 100 at the peak above 100 Fahrenheit. Yet they have sprinklers everywhere. There's that fountain you saw at the entrance. They have excellent water management, and I mean, it's like, that's where the cars go. We've got to walk down this way, and it's like, you know, in Oxford, you know, it's the opposite climate. Climatically, it's the opposite. Yet it has. It's the rainfall is like. The rainfall is the opposite. This climate is the opposite. Yeah, you know, only has a couple of weeks dry weather, and they're calling for a hosepipe ban. Just goes to show, and they blame it on climate change. And that. No, they don't blame it. They don't blame it on climate change. Climate change, if it's happening at all, is something that can be coped with. Well, if it is happening, I don't believe it's humans' fault. If it is, now, this here is the Renaissance Esmeralda. It's all coming back to me. Great to be back now. See, there's those two stairs at the front now. Here's the car park where I saw that Tesla truck. Do you remember? I saw a Tesla truck parked here. That was fun. That was. So yeah, look at that. It's really nice. It's where people come for golfing holidays and things. There's some golf carts down there. It's really, really nice. So we're going to go across this crosswalk and up here, and you can see there's the triumvirate. I've seen that in many places since I've been here. Actually, you know, I pointed out before. They usually have 3 flags. There's the Stars and Stripes, their flag of the United States. Then in the middle is the Bruin, the flag of California. And finally, on the right-hand side, you get the Renaissance Esmeralda, the flag of the actual organisation. So we're going to go in there, just going to have a look around, see what I can find out. I might not, however I film or not, depends on the circumstances. But I'll probably find a few people setting up. Maybe get to meet some people I can talk to. May see some people I know. I've met our first fellow woo-woo, at least in car form. I break for UFOs, believe, yep, that's it. There's like hella kids here. History has its eyes on here. Yep, I think made in Hawaii. Yeah, I think we've met. I think that person is in there. Hopefully, I'll get to meet them soon. I've just seen this is a merch store being set up, and there's the enterprise room. It's all starting. Look. I mean, I want to be a bit discreet because there's people around there. I might not want them to film, but those people are like on the staff. Here's a little enterprise room. This is one of the smaller speakers venues. But I did see a really good talk in here by this couple talking about aliens in Mexico last year. We go down here, I'll just do it very discreetly. The crystal ballroom is still like not quite right, it's still not quite set up yet. is the amphitheatre, it's called. They've given it a different name. There's the Atlantis room down the end. I'll go and have a look at that in a minute. Crystal Hall, this is here, look. So they're just setting everything up there, look. Getting ready for us. They do work hard. A lot of these people are volunteers. And here is a stall. See, it's being set. One stall's where you start, the contact official stall. Well, they're setting up the Atlantis room as well, I noticed. There's people saying there's technicians and people like that, you know, putting in speakers and microphones and things like that. So it's all getting ready. But I'll go across to the far side and see what's there now. You know, the far side room's Valencia. And there's this one, that's the big far side room where they do a lot of movie screenings and stuff. Inspiration. And come around here. And there's another one, there's another few around here. There's merch tables, of course, they'll be packed tomorrow. And there's the dining room as well, around here as well. There's this little small one. Probably Linda Moulton Howe's workshop will be in there. And you go down there, there's some more merch areas. And out here is this is where we did the Skywatch last year, do you remember? It was just back out here. There's a lawn out here. I remember we did a Skywatch, except I fell asleep. I slept through most of it. That's the problem. I was actually absolutely knackered. I just fell asleep. You know, this bloke there, I'll just put the camera down a moment. There's somebody there. Not everyone likes to film. You've got to be a bit discreet. But this was the lawn. And of course, you've seen I went past the Lido. There's this beautiful Lido. Swimming pools and an outside bar. If you remember, it was here. Well, they had lots of chairs set up, and we did a CE5 protocol. But they just watered the lawn. Apparently, after there's a golf course. Yeah, lovely. Just sit down for a moment. It sounds like a UFO, that noise. Yeah, we had a sit here and we were trying to channel the alien gods, Stephen Greer style. Oh, really without the muscles. But yeah, there's the Lido. You can't get into it. Actually, you need like a guest key to get into the Lido. Because it's a beautiful area. I managed to sneak in. I managed to tailgate my way in there last time, if you remember. That's where I saw that grackle. Thanks to Rhiannon for telling me what that bird was called. So I'm just going to go back to the main area. This is the far side lawn. Let's go back to the main area and maybe order a beer, see if I can see anyone I know. And here's your diagram. I'll show you where I've just seen. There's the Crystal Ballroom, Atlantis room. That's the area I showed you, just the main. These are all parts of this is just the main public area. There's the Lido, which is, you just see through there. And that's the and there is this is the far side here. The dining hall, that's there. Inspiration, Independence, and there's some more venues behind those double doors. And we've got a few things set up here. Individual presenter replays, $9.99 each. Oh. So obviously I'm not going to see everything like I don't see everything. The dining room, we had the opportunity to order meals here. You could have like a daily buffet lunch or dinner. It's bloody expensive. I think it's over $100. But I should eat something actually. I haven't eaten at all today. I've not even had a cup of tea. I've had nothing except water, so I'm going to have a beer, maybe get some bar snacks. But I'm definitely having breakfast at the Indian Wells Resort. Here we go. Back across to the main area from the far side. In there, they're setting up the ticket desk. This is the upper level. This is where a lot of the podcasting gets done and things like that. Just have a walk along here. Well, I'm going to be discreet while I'm filming. But I met Dan Harari. He was on the phone. He didn't get a chance to talk, but I just shook his hand and said, Ben Emlyn Jones. He said, because he knows me, because I've interviewed him. But yeah, so this is the wow, look. Oh, wicked. Podcast. Look at those tie-dyes. Oh, wicked. That's where a lot of the podcasting is done. What's down here, I don't know. God, I'm so excited. There'll be something else. There's usually something else going along here in the upper level. There's some people around here. I'm just going to see who's in there. Yeah, it's all been set up. So we've sort of like, I've looked at the whole place, and everywhere has rooms, people setting up. And everyone's like, all these people, these volunteers working so hard to set the whole thing up. God, it's so exciting, I feel so excited. But I feel a bit emotional actually, because I feel like I've come home. I feel like I'm where I belong right now. Is that line from, was it Paul, the film Paul, which I didn't like when I first saw it, but it grew on me, it really did. Yeah, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost character, they say, you know, we're 3,624 miles away from home, but somehow I feel we're at home. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here at the Esmeralda here, the Racing Esmeralda, and I'm here with Jim and Kathy.
Yes.
And
hi.
yeah, I've been having a lovely evening with them.
Yes.
And don't forget UFOsarereal.com, which is Jim's website. Jim is executive producer of James Fox's Phenomenon.
Yes.
It's great to meet you both, and thank you very much for coming.
You're welcome. Great to meet you.
Yeah,
too.
and so I've made some
shy,
new.
devil.
I'm shy, my
Yeah,
bottom. I've made new friends already.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm still at the bar, and I met Mona. You remember from my Ben in the Desert? Nice to see you, Mona. How you
Nice
doing?
to see you again.
Great.
We're discussing the world and getting it all figured out.
We're trying to anyway, but yeah, we're having a lovely. I've had a fantastic evening since I came here. I met new friends and I've got my old friends. It's really, really great. So brilliant. So stay tuned. There's more coming. All right, guys and gals, I'm on my way back to the Indian Wells Resort after a fantastic evening. I knew if I just hung around there long enough, I'd make new friends, and I would bump into people I know and meet old friends, and I did both. I met these people you saw, Jim and Kathy. I'd never seen them before, and I met them and I was talking to them. I mean, it's easy for me because I'm such an extrovert, and I just like sort of like fall into these kinds of like relationships very easily. But then Mona turned up, as you saw, and then Ian turned up. Oh, I should have filmed it actually, but Ian Halling turned up later, a good friend, and then there's two other people, Mercedes and another man turned up. This lady called Mercedes, she turned up, and her friends turned up. And we having, oh God, what a fantastic evening. And they shut the bar at bloody 11. That's typical of this area, you know. Absolute killjoys. So I'm on my way back now to the Indian Wells Resort. But oh, what a fantastic evening it's been. And I just feel like, I mean, this lady Mercedes, she just put it so well. She said, for the next 5 days we can be normal. And you've got to just think about what that means for a few minutes. It's our turn to be normal. We can like enjoy the feeling that most people experience all the time. This is just fitting in, not being laughed at, being able to express ourselves and be ourselves openly and freely without any persecution or ridicule. That is what it's meant by for the next few days we can be normal. And I'm like, that's just so profound what she said. And that's what it's all about. That's why I feel so excited now. I mean, the last couple of days since I've been here, they've been lonely and they've been sad because I'm going the wrong way. This happened the last time. I went the wrong way. I went down there to where the golf carts are. I know I'm going this way. I got up this way. I got lost last time. Do you remember? This is like a time when you know, we can just, this is why I love these events so much. I don't take normal holidays. I don't go to Ibiza. I don't go to Disneyland. I don't do any of those things. I come to places like this. I go to the Glastonbury Symposium, to Probe, to Leeds Exopolitics. It's all these. Oh man, I'm an aficionado of these conferences. Oh, I guess cross over here. There we go. Oh, but it's lovely. I had a lovely discussion, conversation with these people, these new people. Now Jim is like, I'll show you the pen he gave me, UFOsarereal.com. R with the letter R. I'm looking up. I'll show you at the end. But I think is when he told me his full name, I recognised it because he's James Fox's executive producer. And it's like, really? I mean, so he's really in there. He's like passionate about it, like I am. And that's just so really amazing. You get these people who just, this thing takes over their lives, and they think about nothing else, and they do nothing else apart from what's related to this. And I'm exactly like that myself. Yeah. And I'm sure I was hoping I'd meet other people. I don't know when Anthony Peake is turning up. He may be here late tonight. Steve Bassett, he's got to come over from Washington. And there's other people as well. I'm looking forward to meeting Ross Coulthart very much. I'll go through the speakers actually in the schedule in a little while. Oh, they got the sprinklers out, yep. They got the old, it's always the way. You've got to dodge the sprinklers when you're walking around at night. Yeah, there they go. You see them going? Yeah, so, as I said, excellent water management here for a desert. Yeah, oops, I don't mind getting sprayed a little bit. I'll dry off pretty soon. Oh, but I'm just like so thrilled to be here. It's like so, it just feels like I'm like in heaven. It's like really wonderful. It's like, well, I'm going to get into my room. I'm almost at the highway 111 now, so I'll just cross over the road, get into the resort and get into my room, and I may sleep because I slept a bit earlier, so I may not sleep too well. Either way, some point before the conference starts, I will do the schedule. It's starting a bit later today this year. It's starting like about 1 p.m. much later than last year, but that's okay. Gives me a small chance to get up. I've got to organise my breakfast as well. I haven't paid for my breakfasts yet. Anyway, guys, oh, thank God I'm here. That's all I can say. Thank God I'm here. Thank God I'm here. This is awfully American. They've just left a pile of newspapers here. The Desert Sun, which I think is the local paper, very appropriate name, here at the hotel. Well, it's early in the morning. It's about just gone 5 o'clock, so it'll soon be dawn. It's lovely. It's actually really, I think this area is at its finest and nicest at this time in the morning. It's actually quite cool. Although I don't think it never gets cool enough that you need a jumper or anything. But it's actually pretty. See, look at the sky. It's really lovely. And look, there's a chemtrail there. But I'm now just wondering where this road never seems to stop. This 111. But there's no one in the lobby. I mean, there's no night porter or anyone there. Maybe you've got to press a bell if you turn up. But anyway, guys, I thought I'd come out here and just look at the dawn. First day of the conference coming up. Yay! Lovely jubbly. And here we have this beautiful mountain range in the background. It's really nice. Ah, lovely. Well, it's good news. Ashton Forbes is coming. He's on his live stream. I've just been re-watching his live stream from last night. Well, the Wi-Fi in my room is bloody hopeless, absolutely hopeless. I'm going to have to wait. I'm going to have to go to the lobby, I think, or go to somewhere else and download the stuff I want to the laptop to deal with, and then come back. But it's intermittent. It keeps coming and going. The Wi-Fi in my room. I mean, it may not be the whole hotel. It may just be my room. I'll see, because I'll try it in another part of the hotel. But Ashton Forbes did say he's on his way to contacting the desert, which means he's probably on his way in now. I don't know where he lives. He lives somewhere in the Midwest, I think. So he's probably flying. He doesn't like flying. He's very scared. Obviously, I think, considering his interests, he'd probably be a bit nervous about flying. But, yeah, it's... But I wish, it'd be great to meet him. I mean, some people I don't think will be very happy with him being here. Partly because his opinions diverge an awful lot from the UFO community. He has quite a low view of most of the UFO community. Takes quite a dim view of them. Also, I mean, he has it's a big lorry there. Ashton also has a reputation for being quite belligerent, and he gets quite angry with people, who sort of like, not just the corridor crew and people like that who like the skeptics, but there's people like in the UFO community who don't go along with him. He'll even say things like, "You will be going to jail," or "You'll end up being in the gallows," and things like that. Yeah, but I don't quite like him. He's quite a character. He reminds me. He reminds me of that. Do you know that John Sparks character from the 80s? Shadwell the poet, you know. There's this sketch show called Naked Video made in Scotland, and there's this Welsh guy called Shadwell, and he always writes these poems. And John Sparks plays him so well. He's like, as the school bell rings, bring, bring, bring. Anyway, love this. The sprinkling is over. Night time's the best time to sprinkle because you don't get the evaporation as you do during the day. I have to wash this hat, actually, it's getting a bit manky, but I can do that easily enough. And I'll just put it. I mean, it'll dry very quickly. It'll dry while I'm walking to in the sun while I'm walking to the venue in a little while. So that's the Esmeralda over there, right next door. So let's go back inside. The corridor. It's just like the one upstairs. Because of the stars on the wall from the past. Maybe it's the age I am, but I don't actually know most of these people. I don't recognise them. This is a photograph of the old hotel. Just look at the old car there, see? That's what it looked like originally, but before the new one was built. Look at the golfing guy there, see? That's the original hotel. It was pulled down and replaced with this new building you see here. Do you recognise these people? I don't know who they are. They look sort of familiar. I've seen them in the movies, but I don't. These two, there's this couple you see again and again. I think all this corridor has pictures of this particular couple. Okay, well, the Wi-Fi appears to be on my side at the moment, so I'm going to just go through the schedule of today. Now, I haven't managed to get a hold yet of the PDF schedule we had last time with each room divided into various segments. So I won't be able to see it as clearly now as I do then when I get that about who's where and who I have to see and who I have to miss. But there is a list of people who I can actually show you them now, and we'll go through them because I've got OBS going at the moment, which is nice because OBS is actually quite useful for this sort of thing. I've switched the air conditioning off because it's necessary, I think, in this sort of climate, but it's so noisy. I just put it on when I was asleep because otherwise it's just so noisy. So we'll just let's have a look, shall we, at what's going on here. Right, okay, so these are the lectures. Yes, I'm trying to download. As you see, I'm in the middle of downloading the Ashton Forbes' show, just in case the Wi-Fi goes off again. If it does go off, I mean, at least I've got I can move when the battery's charged. I can move the computer to somewhere else in the hotel. It is actually working better in the lobby. But we start off. It starts later than last year, as you can see here. Lecture with Daniel Sheehan, New Paradigm Institute, 1 p.m. to 1:50 p.m. That's one I really want to see. And then at 2 p.m. that's in. Doesn't say where it is. That's who he is from the New Paradigm Institute. We'll find out where all these people actually are when we get there, like the geographical schedule with all the people in different rooms. JJ and Desiree Hertak. Now they were there last year, and I remember them very well from because I met them in 2008 because they were at this one-off conference organised by Ross Hemsworth in Glastonbury called Now That's Weird, the conference. Lecture with Mitchell Randall. Now he's 3 p.m. to 3:50 p.m. And it says here, our illustrious speakers, latest interstellar discoveries of science and space to disclose, personal experience, UAP, UFOs, UAP ETs. And A pass is required to attend all lectures, which is what I'm going to get. That's the one I bought. And then Mitch Randall, I don't know much about, but he's on the 3 p.m. to 3:50 p.m. So it's Danny, 1 p.m. to 1:50. But these will be probably in the same place. 4 p.m. to 4:50. Peter Robbins, an introduction, UFOs 101, an introduction to UFO abductions. Right, well, I can't miss that. Oh, I can't miss that. No, there's going to be no trouble. I'm going to sit in the audience quietly. and be a nice person and not have a go at him. I'll just listen politely, as I would have done at OLM if I'd been allowed to go. Luckily, someone else went in my place, didn't they? Remember? Okay, 5 p.m. to 5:50 p.m. Hakim Isla or Isla. I don't know much about him. Whitley Strieber, 9. That's Friday now. 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Living with the unknown. But that clashes, look here, with Steve Bassett. Now, I can't miss our Steve, can I? I can't miss our Steve. A New World, if you can take it out. 9 a.m. to 10:30. I've got to see that. Alexis Brooks. It clashes with Alexis Brooks. I don't know much about intergenerational contact, unlocking ETs linked within bloodlines. That's 9 a.m. to 10:30. Then, of course, I've got to see Anthony Peake, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Got to see that one. The near-death experience and abductions, linking the phenomenon. That'll be interesting, because I mean, he's I don't quite agree with him, but it'll be very interesting to hear what you have to say. I'll say more later. I'll be reviewing all these speakers. Actually, with Jennifer Schaefer and Richard Martini. Yeah, and then Dr. Avi Loeb, asterisk. That's because he's not going to be there, unfortunately. Avi, unfortunately, is wherever he is, probably Israel or Harvard, and he's not able to get to this, unfortunately. But I'd like to 1 p.m. to 2:30. Now, who's that? We'll find out who that clashes with. Anthony is 11 to 12:30, right? So don't have to worry about that. And 1 p.m. to 2:30 is actually Dr. Paul H. Smith, bigger than 2 aircraft carriers molded together. Ooh, Roland Powell's deathbed testimony and what we can learn about it. Right, learn from it about UFOs, UAPs. That looks interesting, but I'd have to go for it. Clashes with Avi, and I'll have to go and see Avi. I think definitely. And actually, with Rizvan work. The simulation hypothesis. Oh, AIs, NPCs, and ancient religions. Yeah, I'm not really. I mean, that'd probably be interesting, but it clashes with Avi. I'm not going to miss Avi for that. Definitely, but I'm not. I think AI is a bit of an overrated subject. I'll say more maybe later because there'll probably be more information later from someone. But people think, oh, robot overlords are going to take over the world. Oh, no, you must be joking. They can't even read a bloody train timetable. They're not going to take over the world anytime soon. Lecture with Richard Dolan, USOs. What are they doing? A history of unidentified submerged objects in our world's oceans, lakes, and rivers. Yeah, then that's 3 p.m. to 4:30. Same time, Rebecca Hardcastle. Is psionics post-disclosure? Someone told me in the comments section on when I did a comments reply exactly where the word psionics comes from. It's not as new as I thought it was. She's a nice looking lady, I must say, but I can put my lecherous instincts aside and watch Richard Dolan, I think. And there's someone called Jeremiah Horseman and Melinda Leslie. Same time. Oh, Melinda Leslie is absolutely lovely. She's a beautiful, charming person. I remember her because she was in this show with this skeptic who was being a fucking dickhead to her. I'll tell you what, if I'd been in the room, I'd have given him a bit of the old community guidelines. I really would, because what a tosser. I am the representative of the show. I will finish the statement. He was shouting at her. Anyway, that was good. Sedona's deep underground military base. Oh, wow. Lecture with Caroline Corey, 5 to 6:30. I hope she turns up this time. She's the director of The Terror in the Sky, which is a really, really good film she made with Dave Altman, which is it's an independent study into the whole Nimitz footage stuff, and it's really, really interesting. Very, very, very interesting indeed. Next with Eric Rankin, Decrypting the 432 Matrix. That's 5 to 6:30. I think I'll see Caroline instead. Lecture with Matthew James Bailey, The Era of AGI and the Future of Human Evolution. Oh, right, another AI thing. AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. This is that's 5 to 6:30. I think that it's as I said, you ask any expert about the singularity, when the computer's going to become, our overlords and have free will and stuff like that, and they'll say all kinds of things. Everything from it's never going to happen to it's already happened. So. I did an entire video about AI, why and consciousness, and why it's an extremely difficult mystery to solve. More JJ and Desiree on Saturday at 9 a.m. to 10:30. Lecture with Diane Hennessy Powell, 9 a.m. to 10:30 again. Autists and the Astral Realm. That'll be interesting. And of course, 9 a.m. to 10:30. I've got to see this one. I've got to see this one. And Nick Pope. Get to see what his royal popeness is up to. Pope the First. Lessons from the pandemic. All right. How much will I be able to discuss on that on YouTube? Lectures with Yvonne Smith. She's from the others. Living in here. Oh, Josh Gates. Now he's like this TV star. Something 11 a.m. 12:30. I don't know much about Josh Gates actually. He's like one of the keynote speakers, but I mean, apparently Legends, Mysteries, and Tales of Adventure. He does this very popular TV show which I've never seen. Yeah. Lecture with Paul Hynek and Matthew James Bailey. Jesse Michaels. Oh, wicked. Well, I know his podcast, of course. Everyone, you know, the American Alchemy, and he did that interview with Harold Malmgren. I hope he brings that bird with him. What's her name? And his daughter. That'll be a hot one. She might be there. Hope so. Lecture, and then same lecture with, this is Saturday, 12:45. Lecture with Arnold Stanfield, Quantum Mind, Non-Human, don't know him. Thomas Jane, this is another famous person. He's been in various movies. Forbidden Worlds. Lecture with Ryan Woods. Gravity Wars, the Silver Bullets of Aerospace Revolutions. Oh, that's going to be interesting. Lecture with Chris Bledsoe, UFO of God. Lecture with Adam Apollo. Harmonic Contact. Lecture with Jason Quitt, Interdimensional Phenomena. Robert Salas, that's 4 p.m. to 5:30. That looks interesting. But does it clash with the others? I'm looking at the times. Pope is 9 a.m. to 10:30. I'll know better when I look at the schedule. It's easier to see when you get the diagram, which you'll see hopefully soon. Lecture with Ryan Woods. Oh, I've seen that one. Here we go. Keep going. Jason Quitt, Interdimensional Phenomena. Robert Salas, of course. Yeah, the Maelstrom UFO incident. Kelly Chase, UFO narrative wars. How belief, bias, and media shape the phenomenon. Yeah, she's already done like a kind of video about this, which is actually very revealing. And she's very analytical. And Kelly, I think, she changed her course lately. She's gone off on a slightly different tangent. So dealing more with kind of like synchromystical stuff. She's still interested in UFOs, but only as part of that. Lecture with Mitch Randall. Him again, don't know him. Lecture with Stephen C. Finley, never heard of him. Lecture with Tracy Garbutt Dolan. Exploring the psionic in you, integrating expanded consciousness into everyday life. Yeah, she's a remote viewer coach, so that might well be interesting. Definitely. But Peter Robbins is on again at NASA, JPL Moon and Mars photos. Appreciate a resource in the battle for disclosure. That actually sounds interesting. See now he doesn't talk about his usual subject, which is kind of a relief actually. His original subject is so boring. He burned his bridges with that, which is silly of him. Lecture with Danny Sheehan again, 9 a.m. to 10:30. The mode of spiritual expression. As much as I'd like to see that, I think I'm going to go to see Peter. Lecture with Clyde Lewis, NHI, defining the engineers. Oh, right. Lecture with Jason Martell, Mars, Earth, Ancient Connection. Lecture with Rex St. Ongi Sir. I remember that name from last time, but I don't know much about it. It's just the description. It's just a repeat of what he's doing, of his name. Lecture with Dr. Pascal Michael from NHI to THI, Transhuman Intelligences. Oh, right. And of course, 1 p.m. to 2:30. I've got to see this lecture with Ross Coulthard. Maybe he'll finally reveal where the big UFO is buried. Lecture with Adam Curry. For divination, I remember him from last time. Lecture with Douglas Butner, Ben Hansen. Lecture with Ben Hansen. Well, he's like a CIA guy. He did this TV show about UFOs. Lecture with Paul Hynek. Contact Chemistry, DMT. Oh. And of course, our Linda. Lecture with Linda Moulton Howe. Why does the US government lie about UFOs and ETs? Yeah, that'd be brilliant, that one. Lecture with Sarah Breskman Cosme. Yeah. Lecture with William Henry. Right, turn to Atlantis. Yeah. Lecture with Egypt Stargate Discovery. How UFOs travel from there to here. That's going to be interesting because I often wondered that. Lecture with UFO Garage. Lecture with Katie Page. Snippy the horse. Oh right, that was the one that Linda investigated back in 1980. Yeah. Maybe I think it was actually much earlier, but Linda did investigate it. She mentions it in a video. First alien mutilation, not the first one. It was the first one to be reported. And then lecturer Jeff Foran, monsters of the super spectrum, cryptids, UFOs, and the ultra-terrestrial hypothesis. Lecturer Ron James, the DC Diaries. Nice. And we have filmmakers and screenings now. Contact in the Desert. Jeff Stein. Oh, he's the one. He's like the 10th anniversary documentary. Oh, he's doing a special one about. He's done several movies. He's doing a special one now about this particular event. Ron James, a well-known figure, MUFON. UFO Garage, Ben Jenkins and Joe Strelski. Two rather hippie-like blokes. And Dan Harari. He's the chairman of the Hollywood Disclosure Alliance, which I'm in. Dean Aliotto, the Alien Perspective. These look good, don't they? And of course, James Fox. What's his latest, I wonder? Yeah, documentary filmmaker. I saw his executive producer last night. So that looks interesting, doesn't it? Workshops. Did you need a puppy? You get to see these with an A pass? Yeah, I mean, you might have to get, I don't know, you might have to get pay extra for some of these. But I'm willing to do if necessary. Danny Sheehan, 9 AM to 10:30 PM Friday. Workshop with Danny Sheehan. That'll be interesting. Post-UFO ET disclosure, new paradigm, human worldview. Same time, Kelly Chase. You must purchase. You got to purchase. You got to purchase your first pass for your original pass first, and then you got to go buy extra for these things. Workshop with Kelly Chase, decoding patterns and experience and narratives. Workshop with Hackett Missler, psychic play, developing superhero. And workshop with Mark D'Antonio, sleuthing the truth. Workshop with Peter Davenport and Mitch Randall, Skywatch Revolution. Oh, those are the people who are in doing the Skywatch series. Workshop with Bill Horman, the Mitchell Hedges skull. And workshop with Paul Hynek. Workshop with Admiral Apollo, the body starship. Aliens AI, says Paul Hynek. Workshop with Jason Martell, the return of the Anunnaki. Workshop with Chris Bledsoe. Workshop with William Henry. I don't know if I'll buy any of these. I've got to watch how much I'm spending, actually. Disclosure, the ultimate post-truth talent, Charles Richard Dolan. That looks good. Workshop with Alexis Brooks. Intergenerational ET contact again. Workshop with Linda Moulton Howe. I went to her workshop last year. Aerospace whistleblower revelations. I'd like to meet her. It'd be nice to meet her this time. Maybe Ian can introduce me. Workshop with Jennifer Schaefer. Workshop with Jeremiah Hossman and Linda Leslie about the DUMS, Sedona's DUMS. Yeah. Workshop with Byron, Steve Bassett and Dan Harari. Oh, everything, everywhere, all at once. That'll be interesting. But this one is one I really would like to go to. Workshop with Anthony Peake. 2 PM to 3:30. I have to see what it clashes with, but that looks that way. I really like to go to that. Matthew James Bailey. There's the Hurtax and Alasdair Feinfeld. Ryan Wood, the AI ufologists. Workshop with Sam Braxton Cosme. Workshop with George Knapp. Oh, he's not doing a main lecture, but he's here for a workshop. Workshop with Rhys Van Verk. Glitches in the Matrix. Synchronicity in the Multiverse. That looks interesting. Workshop with Livon Smith. Workshop with Nick Pope. Ask me anything. Oh, Nick, you don't want me to ask you anything. Workshop with Caroline Corey. Replace your cosmic lineage in Planet of Origin. Workshop with that gorgeous Rebecca Hardcastle. Becoming a post-disclosure exoconscious. Workshop with Diane Hennessy Powell. Workshop with Jason Quitt. Bill Horman, Mitchell Hedges Skull, Whitley Strieber, Pascal Michael. Oh my God, there's so many here, aren't there? That's nice. Intensives. Intensive, I don't know what's the difference between a workshop and an intensive, but Sarah Braxman Cosme, Whitley Strieber, Dr. Paul A. Smith, Linda Moulton Howe, Big Mystery and Human Abductions, Danny Sheehan. The subjects are pretty much the same as their lectures. I guess it's just like more detail. Mark Antonio, Anthony Peake. I'd like to go to that. Again, you've got to purchase these things. It's 12 p.m. to 2:30. It's a long one. See, this is why they're intensive, I think. Richard Dolan, the silence of the aliens. What are they waiting for? They're not that silent. But that's a good question. I mean, why don't they just land on the proverbial White House lawn? I mean, people often say, just tell us you're here. Why don't they? That's a question. I mean, Steve mumbling thinks he knows the answer to that. Well, they're just like us. They have. I mustn't make him sound like Ross Coulthard. They have science, therefore they're going to think exactly like us. No, absolutely not. Paul Hynek. This signalarity. Panels and conversations, right? Oh, there's so many. Now this is, you must purchase, right. I think you just need the main passes to get into these, which I'm going to got anyway. UFOs and USOs, unraveling reality from psychedelics. Psionics, the profound power of the mind. UFOs and nukes. Ancient aliens, prehistorical evidence of off-world visitors, beyond close encounters. Diversity of NHI, truth embargo, disclosure, the post-disclosure. Well, that looks good. Artificial. I'm not going to go into AI again. Power schedule. Oh, here's the schedule. Wednesday one I want to see. Sunday 5 to 6:30 p.m. The truth embargo. I think Ross Coulthard's going to be at that. That'll be good. Special event. Oh, these awards banquets. Yeah, and with Coulthard's $89. I could have bought that and I didn't. Giant Rock Integration Tour. Oh, who was it who told me about? I think it was that Eve, the young woman I met on the bus on the way down here. She mentioned the Integratron. Did someone else mention that? But that's basically the thing. That's basically the. It goes back to the history of this event because the Contacts in the Desert began as a recreation of the original contact meetings with which George Van Tassel and George Adamski used to do in the early 1950s. And they used to bring hundreds of people to this little location where they used to skywatch and try to channel the aliens and things like that. And that's why it's called Contact in the Desert. So this conference is kind of a recreation of that. If you remember, the original conferences were outdoors. Oh, God, that must have been hot. Nothing more than a parasol to protect you from the sun. God, that must have been. I think they did a good thing bringing that indoors into air conditioning. I'll tell you. Live podcasts. Oh, wicked. HPANWO radio. No, of course not. That'll be upstairs in the upper level. But we have here. Need to know, of course, they're doing their live show here. Jesse Michaels is doing one too. Podcast on the left. Chris Ramsey, he's quite a cool guy. He's this Canadian bloke who does this thing called Area 52, and he does these interviews with various people in his interview room, which he calls a skiff. And it's got like computers. It's got like mock computers and things everywhere. It looks really cool. Bledsoe said so. Oh. There's a couple that didn't do that. Jeff Moran. Vinnie Adams is over here. Cool. I met Vinnie. He also does Disclosure Team. It's a really good show. He was at Blackpool, if you remember. Yeah. Emilio Ortiz. Beyond Contact, Coast to Coast. Vetted. Oh, Vetted is here. Patrick. He goes. He's cool. He is. I love his show. Yeah. Hello, Vetted. How you doing? That's all. Peace. He says at the end. UAP studies and UFO garage. All right. And that's so. God, blimey! I'm not going to see everything. Obviously, I can't see everything. But my God, oops! I'm going to see as much as I can of these various events. I'll know more when I see the actual when I get my program. I'll know more because I'll check the schedule and things like that. Oh God, that's going to be good. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, this is exciting. It's now about 6 in the morning, so maybe they'll be serving breakfast. It doesn't start till later this year. It's starting at 1 p.m, so it's later than last year on the first day, but that's okay. Maybe Ashton should, I don't know exactly when Ashton's travelling. I know it's after he did his live stream, so we'll see. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I will go and see if I have breakfast, and then if you'll accompany me, we'll head off to the conference. Well, morning everybody. I'm back in the. You may recognise this breakfast room from last year. I'm just watching a bit of Ashton. I'm having my first cup of tea since I got to the US, and I decided not to eat breakfast early because breakfast is sort of a social thing. So I thought it's now 8 o'clock, so if I eat it now, probably I'll bump into other contactees during the course of this particular breakfast period. So that's really cool. So I can't see anyone I know yet. There's just 3 of us in this room so far. So, but there's no rush to get up, I suppose, because we're not starting till late. Alrighty, alright. Breakfast is down me. It's actually quite good. $27 is actually quite a reasonable meal considering it's a buffet. You can go back as many times as you like. But there's only so much toast and jam I can eat, and the variety is not brilliant. Look at those mountains. They're so beautiful. Alright guys, well, it's about 10 AM. It's roughly 90 Fahrenheit or so, and I'm heading for the venue. Yeah, oh, this is the exciting bit. This is like pre-conference thrills reach their peak about now, and so I'm now heading up to the venue, a little walk which I took last night, and I did meet some people. I met a lady who's going to the conference called Kim, and I had a long conversation with her. She was sitting on another table, but she was wearing like a UFO themed t-shirt, and she saw mine, and we sort of looked at each other, and I said, hey, we got talking, and we joined each other on the same table. Yeah, she's come from North Carolina, so she's travelled not as far as me, but probably half the distance, right across the country. Hey, and so now as we stroll along the Highway 111 to the traffic lights, I'm thinking, what will happen when I get there? I mean, it's going to be... I'll be probably, you know, the first lecture will start at 1, which means that kind of they may not start registering yet, but I mean, I'll just hang around and talk to people and meet people and that. It's always good fun. Just hang out and speak to people in the queue and things like that. It's always great to do that. It's almost worth getting to the registration slightly late just so you can have queue conversations. Yeah. So this sand-coloured stones everywhere in the architecture, definitely. As I said before, it reminds me of the architecture in the Middle East, like Dubai and places like that. I think especially for this kind of hot weather. Thick walls, small windows, that kind of thing. Deep set windows. So, yeah, I'm loving it. This is perfect. I'm really in heaven right now. This is absolutely great. Yeah, look at that. And I've just been speaking to this couple. They were just in that van back there. Can you see it? And they were this middle-aged couple. They come from Canada, but they were living in Denver, and this was their first time here. And I had a bit of a conversation with them. There'll be many more conversations like that before the day is out, I can assure you. So here we are again at the Renaissance Esmeralda, and it's a final countdown, I think. Apparently registration is open now, so I'm gonna nip up there and get my pass, hand in my receipt and get my pass, and then mingle. And this is the registration queue. I've got a feeling I'm going to be here for some time. Guys, it was the queue moved quicker than I thought, actually. They were just waiting for a door to open. So, I am officially in. Now, unfortunately, we don't have the cool lanyards and badges this year, which is a shame. Presumably they've done this because it's a bit cheaper, but I've still got a nice gold band for my 5-day pass, which is just perfect. And so now I'm going to sort of look around. I'm sure I'm going to see someone. I predict I'll see someone I know within the next 10 minutes. But here we are. Oh look, isn't that great? Perfect. And they've got aliens on one of these balconies somewhere. I'll just see if we can see them. One of these indoor balconies, they've got aliens hanging from them. I can't see them now. They were there last year. I'll go down maybe there. You'll see them down here. Here we go. See anyone you recognise, ladies and gents? Give us a shout if you see anyone in these seats that you recognise. That's not David Young, is it? Oh, Jesus. Hope not. Oh, no, they're not here this year. Maybe they're outside. I'll have a look later. And to quote the late, great Gareth Davis, the pig is in the shit. Here's my. I'm just sitting down here now. There's my Contact in the Desert Event Horizon program schedule. And look at this, more than just flying saucers. UFO TV. Oh, good they are. There was no conducting of film interviews, film speakers during the Contact in the Desert. Nice. Well, I'm not planning on doing that. No. So I might just take little shots to see. And here we are, right? So it all right. So it starts really around Wilcall, Atlantis. What's Wilcall? Anyway, it starts they see 12 o'clock. Then the Giant Rock Integratron tour, which I'm not going to. It's sold out anyway. And it starts 1 p.m. See, I think it looks like all today's all in it's all in one room here, by look of things, which is the Atlantis room, which is in there. And so that's all there, and then break the ice. Down at the Rose Lawn, 7:30p11. Oh, so there's an outdoor party here. Tour of the grounds to get the most. There's a tour of the grounds at 12 as well, with Katie Page. There's 2 tours. You know, probably be a bit cooler at 6. Let's see how it goes. This is tomorrow, and I'll probably go to Steve Bassett there. Definitely. Starting at 9. And then what's here? Oh, Anthony Peake. It'll have to be Anthony. Oh, God, look. No, you need to know as well. Oh, dear. Oh, I'll think about it. I'll have to think it over. And then, of course, this is like Avi Loeb will be that one. And then Richard Golden probably that one. And then Caroline Corey probably. I'll go through these later, but you can. I'll go through each one later. But it goes right on. See this Saturday, Sunday, St. Theo's Day, and finally Monday. It's not so much Monday. It sort of winds down a bit. And then look, drink responsibly by getting discount drinks at the satellite bars. Oh, where's that? And here's your map. Oh, that's the merch. This is for. They've got a directory for merch. I'll go and have a look at them in a minute. Yeah. Look at that. And that there is. I think that's the far side, South Foy as they call it. Just Kate, Experiencer Group. Oh, this is so good. Oh, this is so bloody good. Gaia, Classified. Yay. Jimmy Church, George Norrie, Linda Von Howe. Who are these 2? They look sort of familiar. Yeah, I don't know. I can't name them. Captain Ron. He's the mastermind behind all this. These are your podcasts. Oh, which one? There's so many, man. Meet and greet in the ballroom. Oh, look, films. Contacts in the Desert, a decade of the UFO phenomenon. That's like that's a documentary about that is a documentary about the whole thing, the program. I'd like to see that because that's tomorrow evening. Because I've seen it before, but I mean, it still looks. I'd like to see it again with a lot of other people. The alien perspective, Experiencer, and then Accidental Truth. Oh, you can get this. Hollywood Disclosure Alliance, of course. Yeah, they had a dinner yesterday, which I couldn't make. And Snippy. Oh, that's the horse, isn't it? Muska, Colorado. Oh, this is a different event here, but it's got all these people here. Freddie Silver, Johnny Robert Schock, Eric Hecker. He's the Antarctica guy, and Mark D'Antonio. I don't know who they are. Freddie Silver he's real like a ancient mysteries crop circles person. Teresa Del Sol. Sandra Sneed. That's an unusual name, I must say. Ever wonder who you are and why you're here? All the time. Highlights. Break the ice parties. Oh, yeah, wicked, man, wicked. And here are the speakers who I've seen. I've been through those already with you. They look bloody good. God, there's so many of them. Look at this, it's like a compendium of it. Everyone is here. Oh, wicked. Oh, this is the documentary about Contact. And there's the partners here. And here's your map. We're just sort of in this area, the globe are. And Atlantis is in there. There's that restaurant. That's the Lido, the Rose Lawn. And there's the far side with the various things here. And there's the dining room, which I will be at. And there's the upper level. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And here at the back, you can get your Contact t-shirt and things like that. Collector's edition, limited edition t-shirts and things. Yay. It'd suit me, wouldn't it? Okay, the merch people are just setting up now. So absolutely no filming presentations. Okay, so I probably won't even be able to take the brief clips that I normally play when the presentations are on. So that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I don't mind. But I might just see if I can just sneak a little brief clip. But everyone's setting up. But pretty soon all these stalls will be full. Okay, so there's another sport. I mean, I've seen so many new sports. There was pickleball, you know, which I saw in Los Angeles, and then they're playing softball there now. Softball it's like baseball. I mean, I think the rules are almost the same as baseball, but it's, as its name implies, it's played with a larger, softer ball, and it's generally played mostly by women. But I think it's the same kind of game, really. And of course, there's tennis, which you're more familiar with. So yeah, it's kind of in this sports bar here. You can always watch sport if you ever get bored of the UFOs. Like that's ever going to happen to me. Over the far side, I've just been having a look round. I spoke to that lady Sandra Sneed. I remember I talked about her in the when I was looking through the schedule, because she's got like a store there. And there's a couple of other ladies here setting up their store. They're doing soul ascension and things like that. And I spoke to them. So I'm going to head back over the near side to see what's going on there. There'll probably be a lot more people around. I told you within 15 minutes I'd see someone I knew. And I did. It was a chap I met. I can't remember his name, but he remembered me from last year, and I'd had a conversation with him last year, and so I had a little conversation with him again. But not much is going over on the far side today. It seems to be all in the Atlantis room. This is not the conference really doesn't get going till tomorrow, because this is Thursday when a lot of attendees won't come. They'll just come for 3 days, like this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Monday tends to be quieter as well. So, and on Tuesday, of course, is when it's all over. So that's when I'm leaving. But hey, look at it. Right now, it's just all the action's over the near side. So I'm heading there now. And I spoke to this lady Sandra. It was really nice. I'll hopefully get an interview with her later. She's like this intuitive and channeler, and I'm really interested in that. And I spoke to some guys on the Strangeology podcast. Do you know the Strangeology podcast? I'll maybe get an interview with them as well. And so I'll just go have a look around. Now's a good time actually to get these little interviews, because later on they're just going to be all too busy. Oh, lovely. I think that'll make a good title slide actually. Beautiful. This is up here on the upper level. This is like a space. Look, it's like a space view, and this is lovely. Look. The Moai of Easter Island. That's a great image. Helps if you open the lens cap then. It's a lovely hotel, isn't it? Really beautiful scenery and everything. It's really nice. Desert Glow Entertainment. You can play games there. We'll go out in the Lido. Well, Steve Bassett is here again, ladies and gents. How you doing, Steve?
I'm with the man from the UK. He's come 12 hours just to see me. It's really amazing.
I know.
It's incredible.
It's worth it, definitely worth it. I might pop in and see some of the other speakers as well while I'm here.
Yeah, what the hell?
What's your talk going to be about?
It's called A New World, if you can take it. And it's going to be kind of depressing.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
well,
pretty much.
That's not like you.
I know.
You're normally like the indefatigable optimist of this community.
I've been getting too much grief for being the over-optimist.
Oh, really?
And always saying it's going to work out and everything. So I decided I'm just going to give them, an hour of like real down stuff. Just really make them want to just go out and jump in the jacuzzi head first.
Well, you never cease to surprise. No one can accuse you of that. But Steve, I look forward to your talk. It's great to see you again,
always,
mate.
man.
Take care.
We'll talk some more.
We'll do, definitely, mate. I look forward to that.